Emily, I only had one dance with him at the party the other night. I don't know why you're trying to make it in the start of a big romance.
It's just that there aren't that many
available fellas.
No, there aren't. And Mike Baldwin is in a position to give you a nice evening out now and then. Be good for you to be taken somewhere really nice, to be, well, fussed over for a change.
Yeah. But Mike Baldwin...
What's wrong with him? He's intelligent, amusing. He's really rather attractive.
Oh, Emily, please, not in front of me daughter.
Well, he is, isn't he? I do notice these things.
He's a wolf.
Well, I'm only suggesting the odd night out, not a permanent liaison. Anyway, you can cope with him.
Oh, thanks. Actually, I'm not so sure I could. I'm a bit rusty on how to cope with strange fellas these days.
Quite. You want to get some practice.
Do you know, I used to have conversations like this with my mum. She was always on about fellas I've been out with. You know, you want to encourage this one or else, ooh, get shut of that one. Ooh, ye gods, that seems like a long time ago.
And now you're older and wiser, and it's time you started getting out and about again, back into the swim.
You're trying to turn me into a right little raver.
I just want you to enjoy yourself a bit more. You're much too young and pretty to sit in every night like you do.
What about you?
Oh, I'm not young and pretty. I never was pretty.
Hey, you make a fabulous chocolate sponge pudding, though, don't you, Trace? And in Miss Piggy's book here, that's much more important.
That Brian is a nice lad. I wonder if him and Gail will make a go of it. They seem very well suited.
You know, it's not good for you, all this jumping up in meals.
Oh, my digestion's used to it.
Well, I don't know why you have to open so early anyway.
Well, you see, some people like to do the shopping on their way to work. That's where I score over the supermarkets. You know, sometimes I do more trade between 8 and 9 than I do for rest at morning.
Yeah, well, I still worry about you.
Echo!
Yes, I know you do, love, but let's face it, we're neither of us getting any younger.
What a wonderful way to start my day.
You know what I mean, though. Look, I know you've coped with it for years, but you weren't always by yourself. You did have a bit of help.
Yeah, but times are harder, aren't they? What you could afford once, you can't afford anymore.
Money doesn't come into it where your health's concerned.
Hey, I'm not a feeble little old lady yet. Anyway, if you think I want an assistant, then I'll talk about it. But I can't just now.
Yeah, well, it wasn't exactly that. You see, I've got another idea.
You don't have to do that.
Oh, give over. We're not stopping here and letting you wait on us hand and foot and go out to work as well.
Oh, dear. I always used to be in well before 9.
Oh, blame us.
Oh, it's all right. Gail will open up. She's got keys now. Still, I must be getting off. It's all right. I'll get that on my way out.
Honestly, Tracy, this place used to be pin neat before you moved in with your 5 million bits and pieces. I don't know how she puts up with you.
Visitor for you, Deirdre.
Oh, of course, Sally. How are you? Emily, Sally and I
Yes,
were...
I know. You were in the maternity ward at the same time. Sally and I bumped into each other once or twice after that, haven't we? Well, I'd better be off because I'm late for work already. See you later, Deirdre.
Right.
Bye, Sally. Nice to see you again.
Well, Sally, how'd you track me down?
I went to your old house. The woman who answered the door said you were living here.
Oh, Ivy, yeah, well, I wouldn't have thought it'd be that difficult to trace.
Why are you here? Have you bought this instead?
Oh, no, this is Emily's. Tracy and me are just stopping here until I find a place of my own.
Oh, is Tracy?
Well,
Isn't she lovely? Hey, haven't you grown up a little while? She's gorgeous.
yeah, she's not bad. Hey, do you fancy a cup of tea?
If you're making one. What do you mean about you and Tracy stopping here? Where's your husband?
Well, it's a long story and one that I don't really feel like going into at the moment, but we've separated.
Oh, Deirdre, no.
Yeah, he's got a job in Holland. I'm all right. You know, it was my decision.
I thought you were so happy.
Yeah, we were. Anyway, tell me about you. How's your little imp? If she's anything like that, wobbling into everything, you'll have your work cut out.
She's not with me. I had her adopted. I had to.
Why?
Well, you know me and Stuart weren't married. After she was born, he scarpered. And my mum and dad didn't want to know. I couldn't give her an home. I couldn't give her anything.
Oh, Sally, love, I am sorry.
Looks like we both fell in it a bit.
Yeah. Oh, listen, me, I offer you a cup of tea and I don't even bother to put flipping kettle on.
Shall I make it?
No, don't be silly. You just keep Madam amused for me.
Hey, Tracy, go and say hello. Go and say hello.
Where's all the kindness gone? All the gentleness, all the consideration.
What consideration? It's never been out different. It's always been dog eat dog.
Rubbish, Bet. You cannot pretend that the world has always been as horrible and violent as it is today. Did people bomb dance halls when you were a girl? Were innocent men and women afraid to walk the streets for fear of being mugged? Did young people jeer at the police and call them pigs?
Harry Tofton from Butchers won't let that lad of his go to the football match on his own anymore. Broke his arm 2 or 3 weeks ago, just because he was wearing his team's scarf.
Well, there's no for it. We'll all have to learn karate. A touch of the old kung fu's and not a yob will come near us.
It is no joking matter, Bet.
I know, but if you don't laugh, you might just cry. Here's the bloke with all the answers. How's it all going to end, Len?
What? I think she means your missus's affair with the Incredible Hulk. No?
No. All this crime and violence, what's going on in the world.
Oh, not that again.
Yes, that again. I know it comes up an awful lot these days, and I'm sorry if it bores you. But how long are people going to keep their heads in the sand?
Look, I've had a very long, hard week. Tomorrow I'll sort the Will's problems out.
He's right, you know. You don't come into a pub for gloom and despondency. You come in to be cheered up.
Aye, so stop yakking and get him in.
Hey,
Yeah, you. And you might as well get one in for Mrs. Sharples. No, she could do with cheering up as well, you know.
hang about.
Give over moaning, you. You've been in steady employment for a good few weeks now. What are you doing with your money? You must be rolling in it. You've no big cars to run, no dependents to support.
Apart from half a dozen boogies.
Right, so that's 2 pints, a milk stout for Mrs. Sharples and a gin and bitter lemon for me. That's what I like about working here. You get to rub shoulders with the affluent.
You're just in time, mate. Eddie's in the chair.
Oh, right. Well, I'll just have half a bitter then. I'll save the double brandy for tonight. Hey, you know this saying about changing horses in midstream? Do you reckon there's hope to it?
You can't just ask me a vague question like that. What horses? What midstream? Give over.
Yeah, well, I'm asking myself more than you, really. Only I'm thinking of making a bit of a change, you know. And I'm just wondering if I might be better leaving things road they are.
Well, how big a change? I mean, is it a big gamble or just the difference between cornflakes and porridge for your breakfast?
No, it's not a big change, really. I mean, it's not even a big gamble. I just wonder if I still feel right about it, though.
Well, if you're not going to be any more forthcoming than that, I can't give you any advice, can I?
No. I'm going to have to sort it out for myself.
That's the best way. Then if you fall in the stream, you've only got yourself to blame, haven't you?
No, of course I won't stop for my dinner. I've been here long enough as it is.
Have you got anywhere to rush off to?
Not really.
Well, sit down and stop fussing then. Anyway, I'm glad of the company. Emily doesn't usually come home at this time, and I can't exactly sit down and have a woman-to-woman conversation with Tracy, can I?
Didn't she come home for dinner then?
Emily? No, she usually has a snack at that cafe she works at. Look, will you stop fussing? I mean, it's not exactly going to be a 4-course meal. It'll just be egg and chips or something. What do you say?
I'd love to stop.
Great.
Can I do anything?
Look, I've told you. You just keep Titch amused.
Hey, do you think she'd come out with me? Or would she cry?
What?
Well, I was thinking it's quite nice outside. It stopped raining. Would you come out with me for a little walk? We could go to the park, feed the ducks while you make the dinner. If you're sure there's nothing I can do to help.
No. No, you'd do that. You should enjoy it. I think I've got some stale bread somewhere.
Right. I'll get a coat on then, eh?
You know, you're lucky I'm not working in a restaurant in Piccadilly Hotel or somewhere.
Why was that?
You'd not be able to afford to come in and chat me up every day.
No, but you would smuggle us a few fillet steaks, eh?
Wouldn't you mind if I worked somewhere where you couldn't see me during the day?
Well, it depends on perks.
You think more of your rotten stomach than you do of me.
You want to know how much I think of you?
Yeah?
Here.
God, it's not your daft thing.
Why not? I'll give Mrs. Sharples something more interesting to look at than that book. Hey, what do you think it is?
Harold Robbins, definitely.
It's an historical novel, and it's not full of bedroom scenes, and it's very well written. And I wouldn't say no to another cup of tea if the waitress can manage to tear herself free.
Sorry, Mrs. Sharples, I didn't know you wanted another.
Well, you didn't ask, did you? You know, it's customary to say, is everything all right, madam, when you're serving in an eating establishment? You'll have to do it at the Piccadilly Hotel, you know.
What? A joke. Your hearing must be like radar, Mrs. Sharples.
There's nothing wrong with my eyesight either. You say that.
See what?
A mouse.
You never saw a mouse. Of course she didn't.
Look, I'm not going senile. As I just said, I've got all my faculties. I know a mouse when I see one.
Where? Where did you see
it? At the back of the counter there.
I'm sure you're mistaken. There can't be mice in here. We're exceptionally careful. Hygiene is our top priority.
Well, maybe they're just very clean mice.
There is no they. I'm quite sure there are no mice in the plural, not even in the singular.
All right. Have it your own row, but I still say there are mice in here. Not that it bothers me, I just don't have to come in here. But some folk might take exception to having vermin running around all over their food.
That woman. I know she's getting on and you have to be tolerant, but I swear she sometimes invents things just for the sake of giving other people aggravation.
Listen, you've not seen Tracy on your way yet.
I'm
have you?
deliberately saying it out loud so that all the customers could hear. I don't know what Mr. Dawson would say. Tracy? No, why? Where's she gone?
Well, I let Sally take her for a walk, but that was over an hour ago.
You've let her go off with Sally?
Only while I made her some dinner. Well, what's the matter? Why shouldn't I do?
Oh, nothing. Let's go inside.
What is it?
Oh, I'm sure it's perfectly all right. They'll be back any minute.
Well, you're not. There's something wrong. Is that why you've come home? You're not usually back at this time.
Oh, no. I came home just to calm down. I was so furious about Mrs. Sharples. But I'm glad I did.
Look, Emily, what is it? What do you know?
Sally had her baby adopted.
Yeah, I know. She told me.
Well, that and the birth itself, it knocked her off balance a bit. But that was 2 years ago.
Look, you said you'd seen her in the hospital since. What was she in for?
She did have to come back for treatment for a while, but only as an outpatient.
What sort of treatment?
Psychiatric.
Oh, my God. And I've let her go off with Tracy.
It was just her nerves. She's been discharged now. I'm sure she's perfectly well. Anyway, she wouldn't harm Tracy.
But where is she? I mean, where's she taking her? Oh, God, what am I going to do?
You're going to stop panicking and sit down while I make a cup of tea. They'll be back any minute.
Love, you can't shut shop in middle of day.
Why not? It's only for 5 minutes. The world won't grind to a halt, you know.
Well, what's so important that won't wait till tonight?
Because I've got something I want to say to you, and because I don't want to wait until tonight, because I don't want Mrs. Sharples or somebody coming back with a rusty tin of soup she bought 5 years ago.
OK, you've convinced me. But only 5 minutes.
Ah, well, you know what we were talking about this morning? You know, about being worried whether you could cope in here by yourself.
You were worrying. I wasn't.
Yeah, well, I've been thinking about it. I mean, I've been thinking about it for a long time, not just this morning. Anyway, you see that?
Yeah, it's your building society book.
Yeah, well, how much do you think there is in there?
I don't know. It's your book. It's your business.
Well, we are wed, you know. I mean, what's mine is yours. Anyway, I'm happy to say there's a fair amount in there. I've not touched a penny of it. And when I sell my house, there'll be a bit more. Now, what I'm saying is, I'm not in the market for buying diamonds or yachts or anything, but I am quite nicely set up.
Do you know, Alf? If we weren't already married, I'd say that this was leading up to a proposal.
Well, it is in a way. I'm proposing to leave my job at the post office. Well, as I say, I can afford to now.
Leave your job? Why?
So as I can be here with you, to help you in the shop. I mean, it's the logical thing to do, isn't it? I reckon we make a marvellous team. Well, hey, what do you think?
Look, you get off. I know you've got to get back to work.
I can't just go and leave you on your own.
I'll be all right. I mean, it's probably like you said. I mean, what could have happened? Nothing. I'm just over-dramatising.
Probably got involved looking at the animals and forgot the time.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, Deirdre, I am sorry. She was on the swings and she wouldn't come off.
Don't worry.
Then she had to go on the roundabout.
It's all
And then I
right.
took the wrong turning and I had to come the long way round. You must have been worried out of your head.
Look, don't worry. I realised something like that must have happened.
And you had the meal waiting as well.
It's in the oven. It's not spoiled. Are you hungry, darling? Come on, then. Stand still. Let me take your coat off.
Then.
Get your dinner.
Bye, Sally. Nice to have seen you again.
Bye, Mrs. Bishop. I really am sorry.
Look, will you stop apologising and sit down while I get the food out? There we are. All right.
All the same, I bet you wouldn't let me take her out again, would you?
Of course I would. Hey, I hope you like macaroni cheese.
I just seen a mouse.
Oh, no.
I did that! Look, there it is! Oh, that settles it. Definitely. I'm not paying 17p for no vermin-infested vanilla slice.
You weren't having one.
I mean, how would you like it if Len finished at yard, sacked Mavis and came to work in cabin with you?
I would not. I can't boss him about like I can there. No, I wouldn't. I'd hate it.
Don't hate it exactly. But I'm not so keen on the idea. Oh, it sounds awful when you put it in so many words.
Oh, rubbish. It's no reflection on your marriage, you know. So you just have to play it that much more clever and that much more devious. After all, it shouldn't be difficult. You're a woman, aren't you?
I'm afraid it's true. Hilda Ogden and Mrs. Sharples were right. We have got mice.
Oh, damn. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right. I have heard rude words before. What are we going to do? Tell Mr. Dawson?
Oh, no, not yet. We'll try and do something ourselves. The thing is, obviously, we don't want it to get around. It is only one mouse, as far as we know.
I should think, according to Ogden, Sharples and Co., it's probably hundreds by now.
Exactly. And that won't be terrifically good for trade.
Ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. Just come off fluff from the Rovers, cavalry to the rescue.
I'm not with you, Eddie.
Just heard about your plague of rats.
Eddie, please. It's not rats. And it's hardly a plague. It's one mouse.
One very little mouse.
Well, that is not the gospel according to St. Hilda.
Oh, what did I tell you?
Anyway, rats and mice, what's the difference? They all want exterminating, and this is the gadget to do it.
Oh, Eddie, please, put it away.
I thought you'd be all over me with gratitude. Not to mention giving me fresh, creamy clears and other goodies to which I'm particularly fond of.
Eddie, if you have a mouse trap to lend us, I'd be more than pleased to borrow it. But could you come back later on? About 5:30-ish, and we'll discuss it then.
I get it. You mean when the punches are gone? Understandable. I mean, we don't want Mr. Dawson in Queer Street, do we?
Not to mention us out of a job.
Although I don't rate your chances very high. Not the way Hilda's doing her town crier act. See you later.
I don't fancy going in there now, seeing them.
Hey, how fast can you pull a pint, Blondie?
Not as fast as you can stop it.
Only she's got something under the grill. I've got 2.0 seconds to get a pint down me, you know.
So get.
Oh, look, darling, I've been working in a boiler house all day. If I don't get a pint, I won't get home at all.
I don't know why I should bother to serve you any road the way you keep letting me down.
How's that?
Where's all these rich, sexy, unattached mates of yours you keep promising to introduce me to?
I never promised I'd introduce you to anybody.
That's how you keep letting me down.
Hey, you're going around telling everybody there's mice in Dawson's Scaffold? Yeah, well, I've seen them. Great big uns jumping round all over the show. And don't you go telling me I want my eyes seen to. Yeah, I shan't. I'm very glad to hear, as a matter of fact. Yeah. Yes, because when I said I'd seen one, Emily Bishop as good as told me I was getting senile. You saw one? Yeah. There you are. What did I say? Mrs. Sharples has seen them and all.
Seen what?
Mice in Dawson's. Dozens of them.
Go away.
Of course, what'll happen is the elf will take his licence off him.
I'm sure that's all that'll happen, Hilda. I mean, won't they chop his head off as well and hang it on a pike from bloody tower?
Now, Luke, people what sell food to the public have a duty to keep their places clean. Now, he doesn't hesitate to charge over the odds for his bits of stale cakes. But how much of that is he putting back into running the place proper? Not very much, that's obvious. I'll bet them kitchens is filthy.
You want to be very careful what you say, you know, Hilda. Dawson could slap a writ on you for slander. And he'd enjoy doing it.
Now, how can it be slander when it's God's own truth? And I'm not the only witness. There's Mrs. Sharples.
And there's not a judge in the country who'd argue with her.
Right. That should sort out the little beggar.
I certainly hope so.
It'll squash him flat. You'll have a new special on the menu tomorrow, mouse pie.
Oh, shut up, Eddie. Sometimes you're dead rotten.
Oh, I know it's not very nice, but it's very necessary, Gail. And with these new modern traps, the mice don't suffer. Take no notice of Eddie.
Oh, thanks very much.
You know perfectly well what I mean, Eddie. Behave yourself.
Whatever you say, Sarge.
Right. Well, I'm ready for off. Will you lock up, Gail?
Yeah, fine. See you tomorrow.
Night. And thank you, Eddie. I appreciate the deed, if not the words that go with it.
You don't have to thank me. Some small recompense of your gratitude will do instead.
Let's see what results we get first, shall we?
You're a very hard woman to do business with, Mrs. B. But as a businessman, I must say I like that attitude.
He's a nutcase, him.
Oh, he's not bad. Not as daft as he cracks on to be.
I know he's not, so why does he do it?
Part of his act. We all have an act, don't we?
I don't.
Yes, you do. You do when you're with me, anyway.
What act?
That helpless little boy act you put on when you want something.
Well, I am a poor little helpless boy. Give us a kiss.
I want something first.
Name it.
Spring that trap.
You're joking.
I'm not. Open it or whatever you've got to do so that the mouse won't get caught.
Why?
I don't like to think of it in there.
God, did I say he was a nutcase?
I'll do it if you won't.
I'll do it. I'll do it, but only because I love you. Anyway, what will Emily Bishop say?
She won't know, will she? She'll just think Eddie didn't set it proper.
So you're prepared to put up with mice running all over the show indefinitely?
We've only seen it once. We might never see it again. I mean, we don't know that it lives here, do we? For all we know, it could have come visiting from next door. It's quite possible. Mice like chocolate, don't they?
You know, Doll, you can talk yourself into just about anything, can't you?
I must be able to. I talked myself into fancying you.
You see, I told you everything was all right.
Yeah.
I do feel sorry for her. She's gone through an awful lot this last couple of years.
She had a much worse time of it than I have.
Shall I set the table, or do you want to put Tracy to bed first? Deirdre. What is it? What's wrong?
Oh, nothing really. Sally asked me if she could come back again.
Well, why not? She must be very lonely.
Oh, I know, and I do feel sorry for her, and I do want to help her, but...
What?
Well, she said when she came back, could she take Tracy out again? And I said yes, because, well, I didn't want to hurt her feelings. But I don't want her to, Emily. I mean, I know there was a perfectly good reason why they were late back today, and I know I'm probably just being a silly, overprotective mother, but I don't want her to. Trouble is, how do I tell her without making it seem as if I'm slapping her in the face?
Mrs. Ogden?
Shh. Hush a minute.
All I can hear is silence.
Yeah, deafening, isn't it? Funny that how you can hear silence. Like in church. I dropped a bottle of cough mixture in St. Wilfrid's once. That were deafening and all.
And what on earth were you doing with a bottle of cough medicine in church?
Oh, well, we always took one with us, you see, on account of my cousin Isabel. 'Cause she were never without a cough in winter, weren't poor Isabel. So every time she started coughing, we'd give her a nip of this cough mixture, you see. Got to be like a drug with her. Not only stopped her coughing, she'd start humming Roll Me Over in the Clover and all. Oh, dear.
What were we supposed to be listening to then?
I thought I heard a mouse. You know that scuttling noise they make? Oh, it goes right down your spine, doesn't it?
A mouse in here? Don't be ridiculous. A mouse would take one look at the standard of hygiene in this place and choose an operating theatre.
Oh, don't you be too sure. They've got 'em in Dawson's Cafe, you know.
That smells nice.
I spoke to my mother, you know, yesterday.
Oh, yes. How is she?
Oh, she's not so bad, except for the usual aches and pains.
Good.
Alf,
Yes, love?
I've been thinking, you know, about what you said about leaving your job.
So have I.
You weren't serious, were you?
Well, let's put it this way. I wasn't certain. I mean, when I mentioned it to you, I was just sort of turning it over in my mind, but I've definitely decided.
Oh, you have?
Well, that's what I want to do, you know. I only wonder I didn't think about it years ago. So I'm going to hand them my notice in at the end of the week. You'll have to get sign writers in, you know, though. change that notice over at shop. Mr. and Mrs. Alf Roberts. Eh?
Now, I don't want to see the body, Eddie. Just take it away, and I shall be forever grateful.
It's only a flipping mouse, you know. They're vermin.
It was still one of God's creatures, Eddie, with sensibilities and a heart and a soul.
Ah, well, that's where you're wrong, Mrs. Bakers. Animals don't have souls. That's why they're different from us. It's empty. It's gone off, but it's empty.
Oh.
You know what we're dealing with here, don't you? We are dealing with here a super mouse. Well, it must have been. To get its head back at the speed of light before this thing comes down and clouts it on the head.
Oh, I wish you wouldn't do that, Eddie.
Do you know, it's a very simple but perfect engine of death. Just like the guillotine.
Eddie, please. Morning, Gail. I'm afraid we've had no luck with the intruder. Actually, I'm rather glad.
Don't worry, we'll get it next time. I reckon if we put a spotted treacle just there, he'll get its feet stuck, and then he'll be a sitting target, won't he?
Really, Eddie? You're displaying a side to your character I never imagined existed. It's bordering on the bloodthirsty.
We're being practical. I mean, one mouse today, a dozen tomorrow. They run a guidebook, you know, on the best nothing shops in town. Oh, no, it's got to be eliminated. And there's no doubt about it. This is working perfectly.
Eddie, please.
I've got a confession to make.
Pardon?
I said I've got a confession to make. Me and Brian sprung that trap last night. Well, I couldn't go home and go to sleep wondering what was happening to the thing. I couldn't have that on me conscience.
I must confess to feeling the same way.
You know, you two girls want to make up your minds. I mean, it's no skin off my nose if you sell cream buns with serrated edges. Do you want me to set this trap again, or don't you?
Isn't there another way we could get rid of it? A nicer way?
What are you whistling?
You know, I don't rightly know. Just a whistle. It's an outward sign of my inner contentment. So's this.
Get you.
Well, you're bound to be contented when you made a big decision in life, aren't you?
If it's the right decision.
Oh, this one is. I know it is. I can see you and me like Darby and Joan, living together, working together. We make a right success of it. The rest of the world can go hang, you'll see. See you later. Hello, Mrs. Fairclough. Isn't it grand to be alive? Don't you think so?
He's still got the bit between his teeth, I see.
And how?
Haven't you told him yet that you don't think it's a good idea, him giving up his job and coming in here with you full time?
How do you tell a child there's no Father Christmas after all?
Oh, come on, Alf's not a child. He's a middle-aged fella.
Approaching middle age.
Middle-aged.
Always set his heart on it.
Well, all right. You just have to let him have his way. Get him a white coat, make sure his fingernails are always clean, and he'll be as happy as Larry.
Oh, Rita, he'll drive me balmy here all day under my feet. And it's my shop, you know. My little world.
I wish you wouldn't do that, Gail. What are the customers going to think? You look as if you're crossing a minefield every time you move anywhere.
I don't want a mouse running up my leg.
Don't be ridiculous.
It's a well-known fact that mice run up your legs given half the chance.
You're making me as bad as you are. Now, please, let's forget about the mouse. There's probably only a visitor anyway.
Safe to come in, is it?
Of course it's safe to come in, Mrs. Ogden. So far as I'm aware, the cafe isn't in imminent danger of falling down a hole.
Oh, you know what I mean. What have you done about Jerry?
Jerry?
Well, Tom and Jerry, you know. Jerry's the mouse.
Can I get you something, Mrs. Ogden?
Oh, you've not caught it then, eh?
No. Well, we haven't.
Oh, well, in that case, I'll just take a wrapped loaf, please. Don't fancy sharing me Eccles cakes with no mouse. Not enough currants in yours as it is. I'll tell you what, put a notice in the window when you've caught it, eh? Then I might just consider bringing back my normal custom. Ta.
We've got to do something, haven't we?
I tried to do summit, as you call it, last night. If you hadn't been so namby-pamby.
Listen, who's talking? You know Great White Hunter yourself.
Hey, it's about time you started doing a bit of housework, madam. No, sorry, I take that back. The later you start having to start clearing up, the better. Mind you, by the time you're old enough, it'll all be being done by robots. You'd be a right lady of leisure then, sitting back, smoking Russian fags, listening to Mozart. Yeah, probably getting into a sight more trouble than you were clearing up. And good luck to you, love. Oh, flipping heck, who's this? If it's somebody selling religion, I might just sign up. Oh, it's you, Sally. Come in.
I've nothing much in front, so I thought I'd pop round. You don't mind, do you?
No, no.
And how's my favourite person today? Going to give your Auntie Sally a kiss, are we? Hey? Ooh. Look what your auntie's bought you. A little present for being such a smashing little girl.
Oh, Tracy, what do you say? Thank you, that's it. Oh, Sally, you shouldn't have, you know.
Of course I should. She's smashing.
Well, she's not bad.
You'll never be lonely, will you, with her around?
No, never lonely. Mither to death sometimes, but never lonely.
You don't know how lucky you are.
Are you, not working then? Not got a job?
Not at the moment, no. Hey, she suits blue, doesn't she? She really does.
I'm fed up of seeing her in that, actually. It's time she had some new clothes.
Hey, could I buy her a dress or something? Go on, could I?
Well, they're a bit expensive, you know, kiddies' clothes.
I'd really like to.
Well, all right, it's your money.
I'll have a look round this afternoon. There's a lovely little children's shop in the precinct. What size does she take?
2. Hey, listen, though, don't go spending your money on things you can't afford. Being out of work, you know.
I get enough for what I want on the dole. More than enough. I don't go out much.
No boyfriend?
There is a fella, yeah.
Serious?
He is.
Well, then, what are you waiting for?
I'm not sure. You know, having made one mistake, do you feel like that?
Oh, chance would be a fine thing. Anyway, she's a bit of a restriction where things like that are concerned.
I'll swap you. My fella for your Tracy.
Sure, done.
Yeah. Hey, could I take her out again? She had a fabulous time in the park yesterday.
Yeah, well, I think she's got a bit of a cold coming on, actually. Shall we just wait and see till the weather picks up? Anyway, isn't it time we were having a cup of coffee?
Hey, shall we make another dress for this dolly? And perhaps a coat? Don't you think that'd be nice, Tracy? What's that, then?
Well, it doesn't take much to keep a place clean, does it? Not these days, with all the deterrents and things. I must say I'm surprised at Emily Bishop, though. I really am. I always thought she was supposed to be that particular.
Elder,
Listen, can I just ask her something?
be my guest, Mrs. Sharples, as long as you can get her off the subject of flaming mice.
Well, not for a kick-off, but we'll see. So you think that Emily Bishop's to blame for the mice in Dawson's cafe?
Well, who else? She's the gaffer there, isn't she? She's responsible.
And who's the gaffer in your house?
Well, who do you think? Me.
Yes, well, in that case, you must have been responsible for the plague of mice you had in your house a time back. You know, when they had to have the place fumigated.
Oh, yeah. Do you know, I'd forgotten about that. Mice as big as cats roaming all over the place, knowing the way through to next door.
I weren't even at home. That was Stan's fault, leaving crumbs about.
So maybe Emily Bishop was out when that little mouse got under the door from somewhere in the middle of the night. We all have mice at some time or another. She's had them, I have them.
Excuse me, Mrs. Sharples, but I haven't actually. In fact, we once had a cat that had a nervous breakdown because it couldn't find the scent of any.
By heck, Honey Walk, you live in a different world than the lot of us, don't you, see? You talk. Give me a milk stout.
I still say them mice weren't my fault.
Belt up, Hilda, for another record on.
And get him in again, will you, love? And give one to Mrs. Sharples, will you?
You've turned out better than I thought you would, Len Fairclough.
You'll say anything for a drink, won't you, darling?
And I'll do anything.
Hey, not for me, love.
Annie, have another before you go.
No, I'm boxing clever, aren't I? Look, if I start coming here too often, she's going to say that's the only reason I want to give me a job up.
Oh, don't put ideas in my head. You sure that's what you want? To work for yourself? Because that's exactly what you will be doing. It's not all jam, you know, working for yourself. You will be working for you. Nobody else. No mates to fall back on an off day. And there's no point in taking a day off, you know, because you don't get paid. Nah, these big firms like the post office, they're like big sugar daddies. You think twice, mate, before you jack it in.
I can't wait, mate. See you.
Put latch on door, will you, love? Your dinner's ready.
I'm ready for my dinner and all. I'm not late, am I?
No, I've only just made it.
Ah, well, I popped it Rovers, you see. I only had one, though.
I know, I can smell it.
You'll have to watch that, won't I, when I'm serving it in shop. There's plenty who won't like me breathing beer fumes all over them. It'll be my job to get customers in, not turn the ones who've got away. You know, I right fancy myself in there. I really do. I think I've got the right personality for it. You know, friendly-like. And it's not as if I'm without experience dealing with people. I mean, all those years on the council, and then union work down at post office. Do you know, I think we're going to be such a success we're going to have to move somewhere bigger.
Alf.
Or even somewhere nicer. Southport or St Anne's even. Well, Bill Riley and his missus did last year.
Alf.
What, love?
I don't want you to leave your job and come to work in the shop with me.
What?
I don't.
They are. The best mousette in the Northern Hemisphere.
She's very big.
Of course it's big. Never goes hungry. Sorry, Mrs. B.
You might have chosen a better time than the middle of the lunch hour to bring a cat in here.
How much, Eddie?
What do you mean, how much?
Well, you'll be charging for it, won't you? Charging for its services.
Well, I wasn't going to charge, actually, but the woman that owns it, a very stout lady, drinks a lot of Pernod in the Castle Vault, Big Bertha. Well, she charges, well, £3. I mean, that's its very cheapest. Pork butchers and cheese factory, it's definitely a fiver.
And how much is there in it for you?
Shut up, you. What do you think, Mrs. B?
I think it looks a very cruel cat myself.
It has a rather black look about it.
Well, that's because it's a black cat, innit?
As if it would enjoy catching mice.
It does. It's his nature.
Well, I think that's worse than a trap myself. Setting a big black thing after a little mouse. I do, really.
Oh, I think I agree with you, Gail. It's a sort of blood sport, like coursing.
You've had it, mate. You better take it back to Bertha.
You shut up, you. Look, you want this mouse catching, or don't you?
Yeah, but
painlessly.
certainly not by setting a cat on it.
I give up. I do. Come on, you. I give up.
He just don't understand, does he, Emily?
I'm afraid not.
I don't really care about my pension. I mean, it's daft being miserable for the next 10 years just over a pension. I might be dead then anyway. I can always take out one of these self-employed pensions.
Yeah, but you've been leaving all your friends, all people you've worked with for donkey's years.
Well, I can still see them. Them I want to see. There'll be plenty I'll be glad to see the back of.
But it's your job. It's been your life.
Ah, right, miserable job it's been and all. I mean, all them years spent there. Not to mention the unsocial hours.
They're not so bad. I mean, they're very good at giving you time off for your council work.
Oh, so that's it, is it? You wouldn't, eh? Well, all right. I'll give the council up.
Don't now, you're being ridiculous.
No, I mean it. I do, honest.
I still don't want you to do it.
There's another reason, isn't there? The real reason. Rini.
I think it would be a mistake.
Well, why? And I want the truth.
Well, I don't think it would work.
Well, I'd be as happy as a pig in clover. I would, honest.
I'm not talking about you.
Oh, I see.
Do you?
Yes, I think so. You'd think I'd be no good in the shop. I wouldn't be a success. You'd be following me around picking things up all the time.
As a matter of fact, I think you'd be better at it than me.
Well, then.
I just don't think it's right you being around the house all the time, around the shop. I don't think it would work.
You don't mean that.
I do.
You're saying that I get on your nerves if I was about all the time. Is that what you're saying?
Get on each other's nerves.
Well, you wouldn't get on mine.
How do you know?
Because I'm telling you, you wouldn't. I think you might have mentioned this before we got married.
Mention what?
That you can't stand seeing too much of me.
Don't be silly. I never said that.
Well, that's what it sounded like to me. I'm all right as long as I'm out the house all the day. And most of the night. You haven't got a fella bobbing in when I bob out, have you? I didn't mean that.
You can believe what the flipping heck you like. Shall I tell you what I think? I think you've always had this idea in the back of your mind.
What idea?
I'll be all right in corner shop, you thought to yourself. No wonder you couldn't wait to get married with that little cosy prospect in view.
Now, that's not true, Rini, and you know it isn't.
Well, why else would a fella give up a perfectly good job unless he was onto a better number?
She likes getting dressed up, doesn't she?
Sometimes.
You keep her looking very nice, Deirdre.
Well, so I should. She's my daughter, isn't she?
Yeah.
I don't suppose you've got any...
They don't tell you.
Ah, I'm sorry. It was a daft question.
Might see her again one day, if she decides to try and find me. And I live long enough.
Sally,
Well,
is there anything I can do to help?
what do I need help for? Unless it's to find me a rich young husband.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of them about. I don't think.
Fair Fairclough will never believe me, you know. He'll never believe I've spent 2 days helping 2 helpless females catch 1 little mouse. He'll swear I've been in the betting office.
We'll tell him, Eddie.
He still won't believe me.
Just walked across the middle of the floor, large as life again. I thought one old lady was going to have a heart attack.
It's very good of you to answer the SOS, especially after the incident with the cat.
And that's another thing. Bertha's very upset. She thinks you've damaged that cat's reputation, rejecting it like that. She's thinking of suing you.
Isn't that piece of cheese a bit big?
Yeah, well, I wanted something to get its teeth into, you know. 1 little flick of its whiskers and bang, the big sleep.
Journey's end.
That fell arrest without all bail.
Hey, hang on, Mrs. B, you're making me feel funny now. Look, are you sure you want to go through with this?
We've no choice, have we? We're a cafe, and it's a health risk.
Right then. Do you know, it makes you realise just how fleeting life is. I mean, you look at it from that mouse's point of view. There he is, pokes his little head out the hole, gets a whiff of the snavoury cooking, comes out, digs his teeth into a cream bun, then across the road for a bit of the other with his girlfriend in the wool shop, and then back over here, bang, iron bar right across the back of the neck. I mean, it just about sums life up, doesn't it? Well, my life anyway.
Thanks, love. Bye. Alf, where are you going?
Out.
I thought you might have had a cup of tea.
Yeah, well, I didn't feel much like one.
Alf, we can't just leave it like
Look, I think we're
this.
better before we say something else we might regret.
But I had to say it. I mean, I had to tell you how I felt.
Yes, well, you did.
Oh, come on, and let's have a cup of tea.
You coming or going, Alf Roberts?
Going, Mrs. Sharples.
Oh. Been having a row, have you?
Well, a misunderstanding.
You know, I often wonder whether rabbits fall out as much as husband and wife seem to do. They can't, can they? Or they wouldn't spend all that time together down them holes.
No, Mrs. Sharples, they can't. What can I get you?
I'm going to treat myself to a tin of pears. How's that for extravagant living?
Emily!
What on earth's the matter?
I think it's happened.
Are you sure?
I heard it go off.
Hadn't you better look?
I'm not looking. You're the man he dressed. Has it?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes?
Oh, poor little thing. Poor innocent little thing.
Oh, do shut up, Gail.
Well, what are we going to do with it? We can't send for Eddie again.
Fetch me the brush and shovel. I'll put it in the bin as it is.
Hello. I was just passing a look through your window. You're very slack, aren't you?
Shut up, Mrs. Ogden. I said shut up. Please. Oh.
Oh, well, I've seen him off good and proper. Let's hope there's no more, eh?
Well, it could be worse. Yeah. Listen, I'm sorry I was so long on the phone to me, Mum. Still, you can come to the park with us another day, can't you?
Of course. Hey, can I wheel her?
Yeah. Listen, I must just pop in the Rovers. I've been promising Mrs. Walker I'd go in for days.
Right. I'll be seeing you then.
Oh, yeah, call in any time. I'm usually in.
Bye, Tracy. Bye, love.
Won't be a sec, love.
Hello.
Hi, is Mrs. Walker not in?
She's in the living room, love.
Oh, well, in that case.
Oh, don't go running off. She wants to see you. Something about a knitting pattern, is it? Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, come on through. You know what she's like. She won't let it drop if I let you go.
Ta.
Right. Who's going to buy me a drink and make hot, passionate love to me? Ask a silly question. Well, are you going to buy yourselves one? Because if you're not, I'm going to treat myself to a pie and a pile of onions.
I better get something done, I think.
Alf?
No, I'm all right, love.
Alf, you've not got an embarrassing and painful ailment of any sort, have you? Because you don't look very happy to me, love.
Women, there is trouble.
Oh, he don't look the sort, does he?
I still think Reenie was right there, though, you know.
I've made a start already, actually. Will I see it?
Oh, yeah.
I haven't done any for years, actually, but somehow I don't appear to have lost the knack.
Well, you never do you? Oh, it is good of you to make it.
Well, I spotted the pattern in the cabin quite by chance, and I thought, who would look absolutely delightful in that? And, of course, the answer was Tracy. What on earth?
Tracy! 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 Tracy!
Oh, my.
Right, well, we want the police then.
Tracy!
Don't phone the police, Rita. Go and phone the police now. Where's Scar?
Oh, Stan's not in there. He's gone to have his hair cut.
Alf! Alf, mate! Somebody give us a hand, will you?
All right, love, all right. He looks to be trapped.
You bloody trap!
Oh. Betty, who's that? Eh? Who's that screaming?
I don't know.
Well, see, love.
Are you all right, Mrs. Walker? Oh, dear. Excuse me, lovey. Oh, well, no. Oh, be careful.
Tracy, we're outside! I left
He looks
Tracy
done for,
out
doesn't he?
here!
Dead.
Tracy!
For police, they're on the way.
Right, it's all right, Deirdre. Help's coming.
Tracy!
It's all right. Yes, doctor.
Tracy! Tracy!
Whatever's happened? I don't reckon. No, I just got in, you see, and I heard this thud like and all these clattering noises. Must have been all this wood falling off. Ken thinks the driver's dead.
Oh, my God, it's not, is it? What's Deirdre saying?
Well, something about Tracy.
Tracy!
We'll have to leave him, Len, till they get here.
You're all right, Elf. We'll have you out at sea in no time, no danger.
Well, yeah, love.
It's me leg, Percy.
Yeah, well, try and keep it still. You could do more damage if you try and move it.
I can't move.
No, love.
Oh, Mr. Baldwin.
Cora. He's dead, isn't he? He looks dead.
Now, Mrs. Walker, Alf's not dead. Nobody's dead. And there's somebody here to help us now, so you come and sit down. Come on.
No, tell me what's happened.
Come on, Mrs. Walker. Come on, love.
A baby?
That's what she says. She's the mother.
Tracy! Where is she? Why haven't you got her up?
People looking.
Tracy! She's moving. Tracy!
People looking down. You'll do no good doing that, love. In fact, you might make things worse.
It's Tracy! It's me. Baby, she's under.
Can we have some assistance?
It's all right. They're...
Get one of you!
They'll find me, baby.
We can't do anything here till we get more assistance.
Sarge! There's a couple of fellas. Here in a bad way, Sarge.
How bad?
One's unconscious.
Right. You watch things out here and make sure no one goes near. Put headquarters in the picture and tell them to get me more men down here. It's a major incident. Off you go.
Alf's in there.
Not mine, please. How is he?
Well, he's just about breathing. He was under that lot. It's Alf Roberts. You know, Councillor Roberts.
Oh! Oh, Len, whatever's the matter with him?
He's gonna be all right, don't worry.
But there's no blood, is there?
No, it's okay.
Hey, how are you?
I'm all right. I've just ripped my shoulder or something.
You
There's
cut us, well.
No.
Yeah.
If that's the ambulance, I'll get him in here straight away. Now, look, the rest of you, please, can you give us a bit of room and you can go out the back way? Come on, now, let's move. Move.
It can't be, it can't be. I mean, there's hardly a mark on him.
We know.
Oh, no!
You're all right, you're all right. Come on, come on. Come on now. Come on.
The ambulance is here.
Yeah, love, it's only one walk. I don't give you out strong just in case.
It's flipping leg that's injured.
I know, love, but they're sharp.
Yeah, right. Sure.
Hey, haven't you been lucky?
You reckon, yeah?
Aye. Is it true that Tracy? I have no idea, love. Don't know.
Is that all?
Where's Deirdre now? Emily's taken her home. Oh, there's no end to it for that poor girl, is there? No end to it.
You're dead right there, Older.
That's all the mother said. She left the baby outside the pub in her pram. Well, pushchair. Next thing, wallop.
What's it like, Jack?
A bloody mess, sir.
See anything?
Only wood.
Can you hear anything? Luke, can we have absolute silence, please?
That's not a sound, sir.
Try and drink this, Deirdre. I've put a lot of sugar in it. Deirdre, love.
Tracy wants me.
Deirdre.
Excuse me, Mrs. Sharple.
Look, lovely, you'd be far better stopping in here.
Tracy wants me.
Of course she does, but they have to find her first. And they're looking hard, very hard. Now, sit yourself down, and they'll come and tell you as soon as she's been found. And she's going to be found, make no mistake about that.
Deirdre, I only left her for a minute. Wasn't even a minute.
I know, love. I know.
Now, take it easy, Jack. We don't want to do anything to disturb this lot. Just keep your ears pricked.
What about the driver? You'll have to stay where he is for now. The baby's more important. Anyway, he's dead. We know that for certain.
Do you know how serious it is?
Well, he's had a nasty blow to the side of his head.
There's hardly any blood.
Well, there's none coming out of his ears. That's a good sign. No chance. Has to go out the back. Take him out the back. Ready when you are, Chris.
Can I come with you?
Of course you can, love.
Mind his leg, love. Sit down.
Somebody be here for you in a sec.
Right.
Hey, you're going to hospital and all with that arm.
No, it's all right.
Tell you what, I wouldn't mind a smoke.
Why didn't you ask me before? I'll get you one, love.
Well, I don't know. One minute you're standing there having a quiet drink, and the next...
I'm going to give up going in pubs after this.
That'll be the day.
What's it like outside?
Oh, terrible, love. You just wouldn't believe.
Any sign of anything, Jack?
No, sir. Can you ask for quiet again?
Quiet, everybody! Quiet, please! I said quiet!
Nothing, sir.
I suppose she does have a child. Yeah.
She's dead. She is. Tracy's dead.
Nay, love, we don't know.
I do.
Oh, that noise. It cuts right into you, doesn't it? Oh. I said that noise. The gates of hell will sound like that when they swing open to receive us all.
Well, there's no point in getting morbid, Mrs. Walker.
I'm not morbid. I'm numb. Has the world gone mad, has it?
Well, I mean, these things happen, don't they?
Yes, but why? Why? What is the point? Why all this senseless, stupid destruction of life and property? What is the point of beginning anything at all, if eventually you're going to destroy it?
I wish I knew, Mrs. Walker. I wish I knew.
Why do you have to be so stupid?
There's no wrong with this.
Come on, mate, you can keep me coming.
Oh, go on, Len.
I'll just be wasting everybody's time if I go there. There's
Do you
no
want
wrong
me
with
to come?
it. No, you get back to the cabin.
You must be joking.
Just relax.
Fellas, I think it's something to be ashamed of, don't we? Being ill or doing it.
Especially Len.
Yeah.
I know what you're thinking.
Not little Tracy. Not that lovely, innocent.
Come on, Bet Lynch. It's time you had to sit down. A spot of brandy wouldn't do you any harm either. Come on.
I'm sorry, Rita. I hardly ever cry, you know. Can't afford to, can you, without mascara eyelash on? Come on.
Just the loose stuff, lad. Don't go pulling at anything. Is that lad of yours still under there? Well, don't worry about Jack. He's like a ferret.
You know, I don't know where it all comes from. You'd think there were half a dozen loads here.
Isn't that always the case?
Yeah. Hey, what's happened?
Where the heck have you been? Look, you've not had your hair.
Oh, I got sidetracked. You know what it is. Here, made a mess of the road, haven't they? Anybody here?
The only thing little Tracy's under all that lot.
What?
She was sitting outside when it happened, you see. In that right, Ken? Tracy's,
Yes, I'm afraid so.
Well, go on, give him a hand. Surely you can forget about your glass back for once.
What the hell do you think I am? Out the way.
Yeah, he'll help.
I thought there might be a way through there.
Isn't there?
Not really. We'll just have to battle on outside.
Would you like a drink?
I could murder one, love, but, well, you know how it is.
Sorry I asked you.
Well, the thought was there.
Jack's found something, sir.
What?
A kiddie's doll.
Oh, my God.
Ah, but are we absolutely certain that it's hers?
Well, I've not seen her with that one, but, well, I suppose she has a lot. I mean, little girls do, don't they?
It's all my fault.
Pardon?
I started it. I split us all up, didn't I?
Don't be silly, Deirdre, love.
But I did. I split us all up.
Who split up? As far as I know, nobody's split anything up.
First there was me and Ray. Sent him away. Now she's gone. And it's my fault. I started it.
But we don't know she's gone. Has anybody said so, have they?
Families should stick together. That's what families are for. They're like flowers like that. Take one petal away and it's all gone.
Well, I still don't believe that Tracy's
dead. That's the word in it. Dead. Like me and Ray. Family's dead, so she's dead too. Follows. It's logical. How are we going to tell Ray? He adored her. He adored her.
There's going to be nought to tell him.
Deirdre.
Best let her be.
Recognise that?
It's Alf's. I'm sure I've seen him with one just like that.
Not a scratch on it.
Oh,
How are you, Cock? Are you feeling better?
oh, not so bad. Any news of Tracy?
They found her doll.
Oh, they haven't. You know, I never felt it.
What's that, love?
I never felt that glass that cut me. I never felt it hit me. I mean, maybe Tracy.
I'm sure she didn't.
Do you want any help?
I'm not sure I'm actually doing anything better. You can all shovel for me if you want.
I suppose they'll have to close the pub.
Did Mrs. Walker say that?
No?
Can you see her doing it?
Well, maybe as a mark of respect.
Aye, maybe that.
Where's Rita?
She's gone to keep an eye out corner shop. We'd forgotten there were nobody there with Alf.
Oh, it looked to be in a bad way, didn't it?
Yeah, it did, kid.
Come on. Yeah, come on then.
Hello? Anybody in? Shop? Hello?
What the hell do you think you're doing? Well, I'm waiting.
I was just seeing if there was anybody in.
There isn't.
Oh, well, in that case, I'll be off.
Let's have a look in them pockets.
Hey?
You heard.
Why, what for?
Let's have a look. And I might remind you there's police out there in the streets.
I was gonna pay for them, honest.
Pigs might fly. Just think yourself lucky that there's people have better things to do. Go on, get out. Go on your bike. Hang on.
Oh, you!
Yeah, go on. I dare you.
I remember you, missus. No danger.
You're not going to believe it. We're trying to pinch half at fags. Do you know there's always somebody ready to take advantage, isn't there?
Yeah.
I suppose we'd better show up shop, hadn't we?
Oh, well, I've come to keep my eye on it.
Do you know, I think I'll have a packet of these, kid. I could do with some, if it's only a smoke.
Right.
Your husband's all right, I believe.
Thank God.
That poor girl, though.
You know, I sometimes think a little prayer helps at a time like this, you know.
No thanks, Mrs. Sharples. You can if you like.
Dear Lord, we pray you look down with love and compassion on this child in her hour of need. Help her to be strong and patient and not to be afraid. We ask it in the name of thy dear Son, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I suppose it is a bit soon yet, but I just thought you might have some... Well, I'll phone again then. Well, when do you think? Right. Thanks very much. I just thought I'd phone the hospital. They can't tell me out yet. They've only just got there.
Yeah. Can I have my loaf, please?
Loaf?
Well, I've come away. I mean, there's nothing you can do, is there? And I don't fancy being there when...
Yeah.
Because I know what it's like, you see. Well, in a way.
No, I don't.
Oh, I lost my grandchild, you know, in a car accident in Australia. I flew all the way out there. 14,000 miles. Only it were too late. Still, I mean, that's a long while since. It's now for poor Deirdre.
Where do you think you're going?
I'm going to hospital.
Hey?
Well, Mrs. Walker insisted, you know, she wants me to go and get this cut seen to because of all the dust, you know, that's flying about.
I suppose it's better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah.
How are you getting there?
Well, she's ordered me a taxi. Sure, I feel such a fool. I mean, when you think that all that's happened to Alf and the others... You feeling all right, lovey?
No.
Why? What's wrong?
I've just let go for a minute, that's all. I'm entitled, aren't I?
Yeah, of course you are.
I'll soon snap back into action. I mean, you can depend on that, can't you? Good old Bet. Always manages to keep a stiff upper lip. Keeps the smile pasted on. It's not always easy, you know, Betty. Not even for me.
I know, lovey. I'll tell you something, shall I?
What?
There's lots of times, you know, and I'm ever so grateful to you for it. I mean, I get up in the mornings to an empty house and... Oh, well, there's not much point to anything. And then I come to work and I think, Bet'll make me smile. And you do, Doug.
Thanks. Hey, did I tell you the one about the Irishman?
Don't you dare. Not be long, Doug.
Don't let him keep you in longer than a week, kid.
Okay.
I heard it, you know.
It might be good news.
We found nothing. Not a sign of her.
Except for the doll.
Are you telling me that the child's not under there?
She's not.
I don't know what to say.
What's the matter, Mrs. Shaw?
Look, you better tell her.
Well, we've managed to search underneath the wood thoroughly, very thoroughly, and there's... Well, we can't find any child.
But that's impossible.
It's true, Emily.
So, the only conclusion is... Well, she couldn't have been under there in the first place, could she?
Tracy's not dead, then?
Well...
Deirdre, she's all right. Tracy's... all right. Deirdre! The back door's wide open.
The back door? Well, where's Deirdre?
She's gone. And there was nothing else?
No. No pram, no baby. Just the doll.
But the baby must be somewhere. Shouldn't you...
Now, let's leave it to the CID, shall we, Mrs. Bishop? They've been called in. They'll be here any minute. There's no point in repeating yourself. I'll tell you what would be appreciated. The lads have been doing a rough job out there. Is it possible to organise some tea?
I'll see to it.
Why don't you sit down, Mrs. Bishop? And don't worry, love. We'll find them for you.
Thank you, sir. Hello, Mrs. Bishop.
Hello.
Detective Inspector Brewster, Weatherfield CID, and this is Detective Constable White. Quick recap, George.
Right, sir. Mrs. Langton, who lives here with a 2-year-old baby.
It's my house, but we're very good friends.
Lodgers here, I should say. Now, apparently, Mrs. Langton went into the Rover's Return, that's the pub on the corner, a few minutes before the crash. Now, according to her, she leaves the baby in a pushchair just outside the pub door.
According to her?
Yeah, well, as soon as the crash happens, she gets hysterical and tries pulling all the rubble off, you know.
I see. Anybody else see the kiddie outside the pub?
I haven't checked that, sir.
Right, go on.
They bring her back here, Mrs. Langton, that is, and you say she went quiet.
Very quiet.
Yeah, and then about 10, 12 minutes ago, they managed to get a fireman far enough underneath the timber to say definitely there wasn't a kiddie underneath. I come here, and while I'm talking to Mrs. Bishop at the front door, Mrs. Langton opposite out the back. So I didn't get to see her. And that's it, sir.
Do you think Mrs. Langton might have heard that the baby hadn't been found?
No, she couldn't have done, because I didn't say anything about it at the front door.
Yeah, but she could have thought, if she heard your voice, that you had brought bad news.
Well, she could have done, yeah.
Oh, that's what I thought.
Oh, and that's another funny thing, sir. We found the doll underneath the timber.
But no pushchair?
Not a sign of it, sir.
And this is the little girl's doll?
Well, it must be, though I don't remember seeing it before.
Now, what do you think...
Like...
I'm sorry.
No, I just wondered if you'd like a cup of tea.
No. What do you think might have happened to the baby?
I've no idea. I work at a confectioner's in Rosamond Street. I was there when the accident happened. I just came round as soon as I heard.
I see. Or, Mrs. Langton, you've no idea where she might have gone?
No.
Oh.
Have you found it?
At the back, did you say?
On the right, behind the cylinder.
Oh, yeah, I've got it.
Good. I knew it was up there somewhere.
Right, who wants this?
I'll have a go.
Have we got any dusters?
I think it's a bit early for dusting, don't you, dear? Why not stack the furniture all on one side?
Good idea, Mrs. Walker.
How's everything out there, Kid?
Well, it's looking a bit clearer, Mrs. Walker.
Blessing about Tracy.
It's a mystery.
But I'm afraid there's been another development. Deirdre's gone.
Gone?
How do you mean, gone?
Just vanished. I went round with Sergeant Cummings to tell her that nothing had been found under the wreckage, that is, apart from the doll. When we got there, Emily met us at the door, and when we went in, Deirdre had gone. Apparently, she just walked out of the back door.
When was this?
About 10 minutes, quarter of an hour ago.
Oh, as if she hadn't gone through enough.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be organising some tea for the people helping out there. Could you help with some cups?
Do it all here. I've found everything you want in the kitchen, and Bet'll give you a hand.
I most certainly will.
Of course, you'll be looking for Tracy.
No, she didn't know she hadn't been found. She didn't hear anything.
There are some things one can't bear to hear.
You all right? They did their best. All of them. They did their best.
Now, let's see. Incidentally, where's Mr. Langton? Does he know about this?
He's not here. He's in Holland. She's had rather a bad time.
Yes, I remember you did too. Still, how has Mrs. Langton had a bad time?
Well, about 18 months ago, she was attacked by a man.
What have we got on this?
No, she'd never reported it to the police.
Didn't she? Go on, please.
Well, then her marriage, she separated from her husband. She was supposed to go with him to Holland, but she decided to stay here. And then just recently there was an upset about selling the house, and she came to stay with me.
How's all this left her? In what state of mind?
Well, I hadn't thought about it, really.
Melancholic?
I wouldn't say melancholy.
Moody?
She did have moods, yes.
Was she given to flights of fancy, say?
Flights of fancy?
Well, suppose she hadn't taken the kiddie to the pub when the crash had happened. Could she have thought that her baby was underneath all that rubble?
Oh, I hardly think so. Mentally, she was perfectly all right.
Perfectly.
Yes.
Then she's very lucky. We hardly live in a perfect world. OK, get back to the lads, George. I'll take it from here.
Right, sir.
Mrs. Bishop, I'm going through the possibilities. Now, that's all. Just the possibilities. And in cases like this, there's an awful lot of them. One is that Mrs. Langton took the baby to the Rover's Return and left her outside in the pushchair.
Well, it seems to be the only one. It isn't here, so she
Yes, but
she
it
must
hasn't
have...
been found yet.
No. Don't you think...
We should be looking, yes, of course I do, and we are. But we do need a lot of help. Now, if you could give Detective Constable White here a few details. Huh? Don't worry. We'll find them. Oh, I'll be sending a constable down just to look around the house.
Why?
Oh, just routine.
Could I have Mrs. Langton's full name, Mrs. Bishop?
Why do they want to search the house?
Oh, it's like Mr. Brewster said, just routine. Mrs. Langton's full name?
Deirdre. No, it's Deirdre Ann.
Deirdre Ann. And the baby's Tracy?
Tracy Lynette. She was 2 in January. I'm her godmother.
And Mrs. Langton, how old is she?
Well, I'm not sure. I think she's 24.
That's fine. And a brief description?
Well, she's quite tall. 5'7", I'd say, or perhaps taller. Slim. Long, straight, fair hair. And she wears spectacles. Glasses. Big ones. The modern kind. Big, round ones with plastic frames.
Good. Now, what was she wearing when you last saw her?
Oh, isn't it silly?
It's not easy at times like this.
No.
Luke, how about that then?
Right, anything I can do to help, Mrs. Walker?
Don't think so, dear. Tea's all organised, is it?
Yes, Bet's just bringing it through now.
Oh, dear. I really think, she ought to take it out the back way. It's still terribly dusty in here.
Yes, right, I'll cut. So, Ben, I think perhaps better take it out the back way. It's not too clever out in the front.
Oh, well, are you helping yourself, go here?
Oh, why not?
Yeah, me and all. Ooh, proper acrid, that dust, isn't it? The very word, Mrs. Abden, the very word.
Now, who do you want me to give them to? Because I've got plenty more in the back.
I think anyone in uniform.
Or who looks as if they've been working. We'll leave it to you.
Yeah, see Mrs. Ledbetter gets one. You know that little woman from Clarence Street? Oh, did you see her when they asked for volunteers to start pulling that wood away? Went at it like a mad thing, she did, and she's only the size of sixpenn'orth a copper. One of the policemen told her to slacken off. She were putting them to shame. Oh, it's funny, Never really noticed her before.
There are people who thrive on tragedy, aren't there? No. That is unfair. There are people who give their best at times like this.
It's a good job there are, isn't it? I mean, heaven knows they're needed.
Yeah.
I'm glad my stand's not in fire brigade.
Oh, I don't know, Elder. We could roll him over at flames. He'd have 'em out in quick sticks, wouldn't you, Stan?
Yeah, well, that's true enough. Oh, but when you think of some of the jobs them lads have to do, because it's not only fires, I mean, there's train crashes and pile-ups on motorway. We've only seen the thin end. Some of them messes don't bear thinking about.
Aye, they've got to go in and sort it all out.
Yeah, heaven knows how they get used to it.
If they ever do.
Aye.
We don't know we're born, do we?
We don't, Hilda. We certainly don't.
Right then.
Yeah, come on, Dolly Day,
All
we'll
right.
never get straight.
All right.
Oh, if that's tea, I wouldn't say no to a cup. Detective Inspector Brewster, Weatherfield CID.
You're definitely entitled. Help yourself.
Thanks.
Any way we can help?
Oh, you certainly can. I'm interested in the time leading up to the actual crash. I understand that Mrs. Langton came in a couple of minutes before it happened.
Yes, she did.
Well, you may not know this, but she had...
I do know she's missing.
I see. You spoke to her, I believe.
Yes, I did.
Did anybody else?
I believe that my barmaid had a couple of words.
Oh, could I have a couple of words then to both of you? Somewhere quiet, preferably?
I'll get Bet for you.
Will you come through?
Thank you.
Well, goodness knows what's happening to that poor girl while they're doing their talking.
Yeah, well, they're going to have a job to find her without a few pointers, Hilda. The right word can put them in the right direction, and that can save a lot of precious time.
Well, I hope you're right.
And she came in here.
Oh, yes, she was here. We were both here in this room when it happened.
What did you say her mood was at the time? I'm still talking about before the accident.
Well, much as usual. Normal. I mean, she wasn't laughing a lot, but she's not had a lot to laugh at lately.
So I understand.
Yes, I'd agree with that. She was perfectly normal.
Now, I want you to think carefully about this one. She gave you the impression that she'd left the baby outside in a pushchair.
She told me she had. I think. Do you know, I'm not sure now.
Did either of you actually see the baby or the pushchair?
No.
Well, do you know anyone who did or might have done?
Wait a minute. Alf Roberts came in at about the same time. What are you after exactly? Are you trying to find out just about where the pram was?
Oh, that sort of thing. Alf Roberts, you say?
Councillor Roberts. He has the shop at the end of the street.
That Mr. Roberts.
They've taken him to hospital, you know. He was badly knocked about.
I see. Do you mind if I use your telephone?
No, of course. I said, no, do come through. I found the number for you.
No thanks, I know it. These are the kind of numbers we remember. Casualty, please. This is Detective Inspector Brewster, Weatherfield CID. You've got one of my men there, a Constable Conway? Put him on, please. Oh, he's right there. Good. Look, Conway, there's a Councillor Roberts in there brought in after the Coronation Street accident. Now, just ask him if he remembers the position of a pushchair with a baby in it that was supposed to be outside the pub about the time he went in. What? I see. Thanks.
Well,
He's still unconscious.
What did she say was up with you?
Oh, man, 2 busted ribs, slight concussion, fractured ankle.
Couldn't have happened to a nicer fella.
Well, how come I get all this lot and you stand there as if you just cut yourself shaving?
Us drunks know how to fall.
Yes. Now then, which one's yours?
This one.
Oh, well, he's as good as new, just waiting for his x-rays.
Well, what's he been x-rayed for?
He complained of pains in his chest, probably bruising. We're just making sure.
Ever get the feeling you're not here?
You can tell there's not much wrong with him.
How are you, love?
Shall I tell you which bits are all right? A bit quicker.
There's no wrong with him.
Hey, they don't keep you in hospital these days. Not if there's nought wrong with you.
Thanks for those few kind words. They're the first I've had. I wouldn't have minded, only I just got a rounding. It was his turn next. Friend of yours, that lorry driver, is he? Eh?
He's dead, love.
Oh,
Well, they think he had a heart attack, so he were probably dead before he hit Rovers.
That'd explain it, wouldn't it?
Yeah. How's Alf?
Oh, that's a good question. Haven't seen him since we came in.
There was nothing I could do, so I came back here to the shop. I hadn't even locked up.
Rita Fairclough kept an eye on things.
That was very good of her.
How was he when you
Didn't even come round.
Well, don't you think you ought to be there when he does?
Oh, Mrs. Sharples, I can't stand hospitals. I have a dread of them. I just have a dread. I just have.
I'll go with you. Oh, nobody gets much pleasure out of hospital visits, I know. But there are times when you've got to forget your own likes and dislikes. Remember the marriage service? In sickness and in health? Now, it's said about whether you like hospitals or not.
Yeah. Will you really go with me?
Of course I'll go with you. Go and get your coat.
Thanks.
Yeah.
You feel better
Oh,
yes. A cup of tea or something.
Hey, look who I found.
Hello, Betty. How are you, love?
Oh, I'm all right. Mrs. Walkrand have insisted I won't have been here at all.
How is he?
He'll live.
Speak for yourself.
I've been trying to find out about Alf, but They tell you nothing, you know. I mean, according to them, he's still in X-ray.
He's been in there a heck of a long time, hasn't he?
Well, that's what I was thinking. Is Rini here?
No. No, she's gone home. Well, it would be better that she were occupied than sitting in casualty worrying herself sick.
I just wish they'd tell you more in these places.
Yeah. Hey, they're taking the time with your X-rays.
Is there something else wrong with you?
Only his heart.
His heart?
They won't be able to find one on picture. It'll be worrying them.
Oh, she's joking.
I wish you lot had shut up. If I'm in bed, I might as get a bit of kip.
Is he doped? Oh, well, I'll get off because I've been cleared.
Oh, well, hang on. I've got a taxi waiting.
Oh, no, it's all right. You'll be a while yet, lovey.
Thanks very much.
Well, you will. I mean, they've got to make sure. Anyway, I'll see you later.
Yeah.
Oh, is there anything you want me to do when I get back?
No, love, no.
Did they find her? Deirdre's kid, did they find her?
They will have. I mean, they're very good. I'll get back.
I've forgotten about the kid.
We're leaving it entirely in my hands.
Well, we couldn't very well open as things are, could we?
The law on licensed premises is extremely complicated, and one can't be too careful. So, if somebody comes in opening hours and is desperate for a drink, we'll serve them.
Well, let's just hope nobody's daft enough to try it.
Well, our stand thinks you're closed, so I don't see why everybody else shouldn't.
There you go.
Are you there? We're in here.
Oh, good. I hope you don't mind us coming in this
Of course
way.
not. We're just off to the hospital.
I've had to close the shop. Well, there's a buzz at past.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, the 151 stops outside Matthews's.
That's it.
Oh,
Elizabeth.
Oh, I'm all right.
Hey, kid, it suits you, that sticking plaster.
Yeah. Are you just off, love?
Yes, did they say?
No, they didn't. But they're taking care of everybody down there. They're wonderful.
Come on, we'd best be off, love.
He's not so good from what I hear. Oh, bless him.
You just can't believe it, can you? 1 minute everything's normal, people laughing and talking.
Come on, love. Come on, you're going to have a lie down.
I'm all right, really.
Come
Quite
on,
all
love.
right.
Come on.
How about you, Betty? You all right?
Oh, I'm all right. It's only a scratch.
They're just moving the lorry. Is Mrs. Walker in?
She's just gone into the back. She's not so good.
Oh, I see.
I think you should. I think it's up to you.
No way.
Then if you don't, nobody else will.
Then nobody will.
Hey, hello, love.
They're bringing me in now.
We'd better get out of the way, then. Is there anything I can fetch for you?
Yes, I've forgotten his pyjamas and shaving things. Could you just...
Yeah, I'll fetch them for you.
Thanks.
Is there any news of the baby?
Her body were done at mess. She were never there.
Thank God.
Where is she?
Nobody knows. It's just a mix-up. A complete mix-up.
You're cleared, Mr. Fairclough. See your doctor if your shoulder gives you any more... Ah, would you stand back, please?
Mrs. Roberts.
say one for all of us, will you, love? We're not all that good at it.
Good cup of tea, this.
Yeah, I bet you never thought you'd live to see the day you'd be drinking tea in a pub.
No, I didn't.
Yes, at times like this, you think there are 1,000 things that you should have done and you've forgotten every one of them.
You know, I was thinking exactly the same thing. Exactly.
Hello.
Oh.
How are you?
Hello. You weren't so long then, look.
No, you'd only just left.
Somebody's been busy.
Mrs. Walker's gone to bed. She's not feeling so good.
No. Any more news? Well, go on then, put it to 'em.
Well, there's no to put to them. Look, you can put it to them if you like, but leave me out of it.
Well, I think Ray ought to be told.
Are you against it, Len?
No, but what could he do? I mean, if I was to get in touch with him, he'd have to come over, wouldn't he? I mean, by the time he got over here, the police had probably found the pair of them.
Well, don't say no news is good news, for God's sake.
I wasn't going to say that. I'm merely saying that's how it could work out.
Well, what do you all think?
Well, I'm inclined to agree with Len. I think there's enough of us worrying as it is. I mean, Ray couldn't do anything, could he? If the police want him, they'll send for him.
Might be too late then. If anything happened, he'd never forgive us.
Oh, that's just a risk we'll have to take.
You feel so flaming helpless.
Yeah, that's why I thought I'd come and get some of Alf's stuff, you know, his shaving, tackling his pyjamas and that. Well, you feel as if you want to be doing something, don't you?
What do you think Ray would do exactly if you told him?
Well, what could he do? I mean, I could tell him, couldn't I? That's all. Your wife and kid have gone missing. Half the police in Lancashire are looking for them. But what good would that do? I mean, by the time he got over here, they'd both be either tucked up in bed or else they'd both be... Oh, what the hell could he do then? I mean, bring them back to life.
You're right, lovey. Leave it as it is.
What the hell's going on?
We've had an accident, that's all.
Half the pub front's gone, and that's all you can say. There's been an accident.
It's serious, Eddie.
Yeah, a lorry turned over and we got the load of timber.
Flipping The driver stuffed it.
He died of a heart attack.
That's what caused it. Anybody else? I mean, do we know?
Well, Alf's bad. He's still in hospital. And Mike Baldwin.
He's not so bad, though, is he?
No, not so bad.
Deirdre and the kid have gone off missing. We don't know what happened to Tracy at all, but Deirdre just walked out. Disappeared.
I mean, it was only up at Monkey's, only half a mile away, but it's a different world. Nobody knows. Only happened a couple of hours ago.
Oh, it feels like a lifetime.
I'd better get off anyway.
Are you going to the hospital?
Yeah, I've got to take some of Alf's stuff back, you know.
Could I come with you?
If you want to, it's up to you.
You feel as if you want to do something, don't you?
Oh, hello, Mrs. Walker. I thought you might have been fast asleep. No, dear, the pill doesn't seem to be working. In any case, I'm better off. Let's have a drink, shall we? Is there some left in the pot? No, dear, I mean a proper drink.
That's
We all
a good
need
idea.
it. Oh, well, right, then, let's have your orders. Emily? No point in breaking down at times like this. True, Elizabeth. But if you don't, you feel there's something wrong with you.
I think I saw his eyes flicker. Did you? Did you see his eyes flicker?
No, love, but don't worry. They will. God will grant you patience.
Oh, I hope so, Mrs. Sharples, because I'm not very well endowed with it.
Have you had much experience with family ailments or bereavements?
No, not really. My mother's an invalid when it suits her.
Is that your impatience speaking?
Yeah, I suppose it is.
You know, it's not very evenly spread. I have known women that have never had a carefree week in the whole of their existence. It's always been something. If it hasn't been a child, it's been a husband, it's been themselves. Sometimes I think God puts them on earth as a good example to us to show us how lucky we are. He'll pull through. It's a wonderful creation of the human body. If it wants to have a rest, by heck, it'll have a rest, and no doctor on earth will shift it. He'll open his eyes when he's good and ready.
Yes, but...
Yes, I know. You want to be there when he does. That's why God will grant you patience.
Those for Mr. Roberts?
Yeah, they're just his pyjamas and shaving stuff and that.
I'll take care of them. Don't stop too long, will you?
No. I do.
Hi. How are you diddling?
Oh, not so bad, mate. How are you?
Great. You're not so bad. What are you doing in here?
Got me strapped to the bed.
No kidding.
Near enough. Move a muscle, they got the exits guarded with shotguns.
He had concussion, that's why they've kept him in.
It's a funny thing, that concussion, you know. Do you know you can walk around with it for ages and not know you've got it? And then suddenly, pow!
Oh, thanks very much. Who's your friend, a registered hospital visitor sent here to cheer us up?
Oh, you're all right. I mean, you're catered for. Anyway, you can't fall down. You're already on your back.
Aye, so be thankful.
Yeah, you're on easy street. Do you know, it's a long time since I've been in one of these hospitals. Not bad, is it?
Well, play your cards right, you can have this bed. I mean, wait for the rush hour, play in the traffic, get yourself knocked down by a small juggernaut. Solve all your problems, that would.
Do you know, it might be worth a couple of weeks, a broken ankle. What's the grub like?
Don't know, I haven't tried it yet. Bit of luck I'll be out before the next meal comes round.
You three look for all the world like you're planning the next train robbery.
We're thinking of taking over the hospital. We're going to take you hostage.
Not today, love. I'm off soon. Wait till my next duty starts, eh?
Oh, when are you off? I'll take you wherever you're going, I don't care.
You stay where you are.
Yeah, you want to watch him, you know. Otherwise, he'll be out the window.
I'll slap his legs if he doesn't behave.
Oh, might like that.
Don't be too sure.
Excuse me. How do I get to spend some time in here?
Qualify as a surgeon, I'm sure you've got it in you. And keep quiet.
Is that Alf?
Is Ina still in there with Rini?
Yeah.
Do you know, when you look at the front of the Rovers, it's a wonder nobody was killed. I mean, it's like Scotty Road when the bulldozers moved in.
It felt like the flipping bulldozers moved in and all.
Hey, who's doing the rebuilding job? Are we bidding?
No, the brewery will do that, won't they? Hey, tell you what, though, they probably want some temporary boarding up, don't they? Nip in and see Annie when you get back.
Yeah, right.
I wish you two would stop talking shop. I'm supposed to be suffering here. Ah, now he can talk shop.
Hi there.
Hi there, he says. Right, thanks, fellas. And next time, if there is a next time, bring some in, eh?
Yeah, we forgot, you know.
Yeah, I know. I've got a memory like that.
I will see you.
Yeah, see you. Well, come on, then, tell me. Am I bankrupt yet?
Oh, give us a chance. You've only been in a couple of hours.
I don't want to, really. I couldn't.
You could and you will. Now, look, a drop of brandy never hurt anybody. Look, now, come on, get it down, you. I mean, it's not just me you're up against now, you know. I mean, what's Mrs. Walker going to say when she brought it special? Oh, no. Oh, you mustn't blame yourself, lovey.
No, it's not. I don't. It's that little girl, that baby. I thought it was over for them. I really did. I thought it was over for
I
them.
know, my love, I know. Come on, sit down. And it will be when they get back. They'll be very happy with you, you see.
Take that little elephant, you know, Deirdre. I mean, why did you take the little elephant?
Hey, who knows what goes on in the minds at times like this? They'll find her, love. The police are ever so good when it comes to things like this. And I'll go. Now then. Oh, hello, Mrs. Hey, what's all this now?
Oh, Mrs. Sharples.
I've been trying to get her to drink that tea. There's a drop of brandy in it.
Well, if she won't drink it, I will. Come on, drink it up.
Do you think we ought to go out and help look for them?
No, we don't go look for them. There's lots of people out there looking, and they know what they're doing. In any case, your place is in here. Who's going to look after them if they come back and you're not here to do for them?
Yes, that's true.
Of course it is. I'll get the door on my way out.
All right,
now, look,
love.
if there's anything you want, just phone the Rovers, right?
Yes.
All right. Right, well, see that you do.
All right. No more.
Oh, yes. Would you like to go straight through?
Thank you very much indeed.
Is there any news?
Not as yet, Mrs. Bishop, but it's early days, don't worry.
Like a cup of tea?
Oh, I wouldn't say no, thank you. Mrs. Sharples, isn't it?
That's right. I'll go make some fresh.
Thank you. May I? I'm just rechecking one or two points. The doll we found under the rubble, you say you assumed it belonged to Mrs. Langton's little girl.
Tracy, yes.
But you'd never seen it before.
No, she had lots of dolls, but I'd never seen that one.
So we can assume it was a new one.
I suppose so. I think I saw all those she got for Christmas. Does he know about the little elephant?
Yes,
the people...
yes, they do, but we're not concentrating on a young lady carrying a child's toy. If she picked it up unthinkingly, she could just as unthinkingly have dropped it. You know, people who go missing under these circumstances are noticed. They do strange things, excite attention. That is why we find them. And we'll find her.
Doctor, is there anything else you can tell me?
Not a thing, Mrs. Roberts. We know your husband has a fractured skull. We know we need further observations, further tests, a brain scan.
What's a brain scan?
Mrs. Roberts, just because we go looking for trouble doesn't mean to say that we find it. But routine says we have to look. Under the circumstances, your husband is progressing perfectly normally. In fact, I'm worrying less about him than I am about you. Let Nurse Phillips know as soon as you want to go home. It's not the slightest point you running yourself down.
No, I think I'll stay a little longer.
All right. He's in very good hands, you know.
Hello? How are you?
Not too bad, love. Any change?
No, not yet.
There we are. I knew she'd had some more recent ones taken.
Well, let's hope we don't have to issue it, but thanks all the same.
I really came along to let you know about them in hospital.
How are they?
Well, Alf's in a bad way, bless him, but we'll know more about him when he opens his eyes. But she's the only one, though. The rest are all progressing, thanks be to God.
It could have been much, much worse. We were just talking about this doll.
Oh, yes. What doll's that?
The one we found under the rubble.
This one.
Oh, that's the one that girl gave to Tracy.
What girl?
A girl that came round at dinner time, round about 12:30. Diddy didn't give me her name, but I've forgotten what it was. Early 20s, long dark hair, thin, skinny little thing. She gave that doll to Tracy.
That sounds like... What's her name? Sally? Sally Norton?
That's it, Sally Norton.
Do you think this girl's involved?
She could be. She was strange, withdrawn. She'd had her own baby adopted. That's how I knew her. She'd struck up a friendship with Deirdre. She was always wanting to take Tracy out for walks. I'd forgotten she was coming today. Deirdre was going to send her away. Nicely, I mean, but neither of us really trusted her. Why didn't I think of her before?
Do we have her address?
The hospital will.
Well, she could be the key. I'm not one for wild guesses, but it could be if you find the girl, we find the kiddie.
Come on. Mummy will take you home.
That's it then. Early 20s, 5'2", thin, brownish hair, and she's wearing a long check coat with brown boots, and she's got pink gloves. And hopefully she's pushing a baby in a pushchair. Let's cruise around the park for a bit. You never know your luck.
Yes.
Eddie Yates wants to see you, Mrs. Walker.
Oh, no, that's all I need. I've got this dreadful headache coming on. What does he want?
Well, something about boarding up the front, only. I remember that you said what the brewery said, you know.
Oh, yes. Goodness gracious, ask him to come in.
Right. OK, love.
Afternoon, Mrs. Walker. Len asked me to
Oh,
come...
and I'm so glad you came. Do you know, I'd completely forgotten all about it and I intended to get in touch. Could you board up the front as securely as possible? Only the brewery won't be able to rebuild for another couple of days, and they asked me to get in touch with someone local to do a temporary job.
First thing in the morning. Business as usual, is it?
Yes, business as usual.
Right, we'll have the boarding up long before opening time, so it should be all right. It'll be like a speakeasy, won't it? Like in the old Prohibition days, you know. Elliot Ness and the Untouchables.
Really? I think we'll have to lock up the spirits each night until the job is properly done.
Yes, Mrs. Walker.
Thank you very much for coming. It had completely slipped my mind. It's not surprising on this day of days.
No, very true, Mrs. Walker, very true.
I won't keep you, love. I gather from them you're not very well.
Come on in. I'm all right. I just keep going up and down every 5 minutes to have having a better spell now.
Oh, good, yeah. You've had a word with the lad, have you?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, first thing in the morning, all right, boss?
Fine.
Right. And may I say how much I'm looking forward to working in a pub, Mrs. Walker?
Really? I don't see why. It's much the same as working anywhere else, except that we expect a higher standard for rather less money. And we don't give pints of beer instead of cups of tea.
Oh, no, I wasn't thinking of that. No, I was thinking it's an opportunity to give of your best, you know.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, well, I'll be getting on.
Let's move on. Hold it. Switch your engine off. I think we've got lucky.
They found that kid yet?
What kid?
The Langton kid. Deirdre's little girl.
Oh, no, not as far as I know. Last I heard, they were still looking.
Still looking for Deirdre as well?
Yeah.
How's that Goldstone order doing?
Now, how long do you reckon you've been in here? Shall I tell you? Just over 3 hours. They're working on it. It's going fine. I'll tell you what I do want from you, though. Take a look at this. That's the price you gave Masons. Now, I was on to Billy McDowell there just before lunch, and they want to go into court, but the price is frightening them. So I reckon if you shave it a bit, not too much, just enough, then we're in, and that could go into something really big.
I'm glad I never had any kids. Nothing but trouble when you got them coming and going. Psst. She must be going through murder, that bird.
Well, I never knew you had it in you.
I am human, you know.
Yeah, but only just.
She's not the only one. I mean, take Ray Langton. Supposing you were him and the worst came to the worst, what do you think it's like losing your family? Bang.
Well, he lost them months ago.
Don't kid yourself. Not Deirdre. And certainly not that little girl. It is his daughter, you know.
Yeah.
You don't switch off that easy. Not when you're that type.
What type's that?
It's my type, that's how I know. I'll tell you someone else that'll make you laugh. I envied that lad.
What, Ray Langton?
Yeah, he cracked it. Did his playing around, got himself a good wife, nice little kid. Then he couldn't stop playing around, so he lost them both. That's what would have happened to me. Yeah. I know what he's going through, all right.
I don't think they've told him.
Is that so? Oh, well, I just lay here and do the worrying for him. Got nothing better to do.
Except shave this price for Masons.
You do it. Who said that?
Oh, certainly not the Mike Baldwin I know.
Yeah, well, don't worry. He'll soon be back.
Yes, I know he's worse off, Mrs. Sharples, but at least he's in hospital being cared for. Heaven knows where...
I won't tell you again. You're a grown woman. Act like one.
I'm sorry.
My Cyril used to say our daylight was a copper's best friend. You know, at times like this. He used to hate to be sent out on searches just as it were getting dark. So, I mean, they got all the afternoon.
They'll be found long before the afternoon's over. Which doesn't give you much time to prepare yourself, young woman. That's better. She wants a calm, happy house to come back to, not the wailing wall of Weatherfield. I know anything about Deirdre. She's thin enough tears to last her a lifetime.
It's Tracy I keep thinking of. I can't help it, Mrs. Sharp.
Hey, she won't know anything about it. Bless her little heart.
I know, but what about that girl? I mean, suppose she does something.
Oh, come on. What can she do? Pushing a wheelchair about and every policeman in the district looking for her.
I know, but if she's deranged and sees the police, she could panic. She could...
Stay where you are. Stay where you are.
Oh, wonderful. Emily! Emily!
Go on.
Darling, my darling.
Right, take her away.
Oh, is that the girl who took Tracy?
Yes, it is,
You
Mrs. Bishop.
terrible girl, you terrible, terrible
Now,
girl.
Mrs. Bishop, come on. You'd best take the child inside.
Yes, yes. Okay,
Thanks, love. Nice work. Thank you, sir. That young woman just walked into our arms and thanked me for the lift. I know that. You never know what's going to happen next. So, let's find the mother. Right, sir.
Well, it's ironic, isn't it? I mean, if that girl hadn't taken Tracy...
Oh, it doesn't bear thinking about.
I feel like a spare part sitting here. Oh, I'm going to get the van out.
Yeah, I think I'll go for a walk, too. You never know. We might find something that the police have missed.
I'll come with you, lovey.
Well, I don't think we've been much use.
No, we'll stay here.
She's not a bit tired. She's sleeping quite happily. Where's everyone going?
We're just going scouting round.
Do lend a hand.
Can I come with you, Len?
I don't see why not.
Oh, I'll get my...
Try, love. Ta-ta then.
Bye. Bye.
Hey, I don't know. As if she hadn't got troubles enough of her own, she has to go looking for somebody else's.
I don't think you've got much to talk about in that respect, Mrs. Sharples.
Mrs. Langton? Mrs. Langton, we've got the baby. We've got Tracy.
Stay here.
Emily.
Why didn't you bring her up?
We can't. She doesn't believe that Tracy's still alive. She could jump in.
Oh, dear God.
Stay here. I'm going to fetch Tracy.
Hey, she's chattering away to herself up there.
It's amazing how self-sufficient children are. Little girls mostly. Little boys cling to their mummies and then leave them.
Gracious.
Oh.
Get Tracy down. I'm taking her. We found Deirdre.
Is she safe?
Yeah, let's hope she stays that way.
Mrs. Langton, we've got her. We've got the baby.
Got Tracy. Creasy's here. Here's Mummy now, look.
Tracy. Oh, Tracy. Oh. Oh.
And Coronation Street is back at the same time tomorrow with a Coronation Street special on Saturday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Next up tonight, though, it's Hale and Pace.
Right. That should keep the draft out.
That's one job we could have done without.
We could have done with that yesterday altogether.
Hello, Betty.
Hello, love. I still feel ill thinking about it.
I would the same. If I had a load of 2B8 come through my public bath.
Oh, terrible, weren't it? Terrible.
Flipping bomb going off,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Well, I thought I'd get here early, see what he's doing.
Yeah, you're right, Betty. You know what they say?
What?
Opening time waits for no man, even if you have got no front windows.
Oh. Hello, Rini, love. Any news?
No, I'm on my way to see him now. I've had to close shop. There's nothing else I could do.
Oh, you get up to 12. That shop will be there when you come back, love.
Yeah.
Hey, I could run you down in the van. It'll only take me a couple of minutes.
Oh, no, Len, really, no.
The last thing you want today is walking a mile, isn't it?
No, Len, thanks all the same, but honestly, I'd rather.
Oh, well, let's hope they've got a bit of good news for you, lovely, when you get there.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh.
Ta-ra.
Ta-ta. dear.
Ta-ra.
Oh, ain't it a shame?
I could have been down there in 2 minutes.
Well, perhaps she needs a bit of peace and quiet, love.
Would you like a cup of tea now? I was thinking I might make one.
Oh, no thanks, Emily. I don't think so. Thanks all the same. Do you know, we could go on forever without mentioning yesterday.
Well, everything's all right now. That's the main thing.
Yeah. I won't forget it, though.
There's some days you never do forget.
Do you know, I thought of throwing myself in that canal. I remember trying to think of reasons not to. I thought, with Ray gone, I've only got Tracy left, so if Tracy's gone too, it was as simple as that. I mean, my mind wasn't confused or frantic or anything like that. Everything was crystal clear. It wasn't so much that I wanted to do it. I just couldn't think of a good reason not to.
That's all finished now, Deirdre.
Yeah. That's why I can talk about it. Yeah, I mean, you don't mind, do you? I'm sorry
no,
if
but you'll find it'll become part of the past. Everything does.
Oh, nurse,
Yes, Mr. Baldwin?
can you sort these pillars out for me?
Can't you manage them yourself, you poor old soul?
I'm a sick man.
Yes, of course you are.
And when's the doctor coming round? I've got things I've got to do.
Unlike the rest of us. Dr. McLaren will be round later this morning.
Good. Now, is there any chance of getting her a phone in this place?
Yes, as soon as it's free. The ward phone's being used at the moment.
Darling, I've got a business to conduct. I need a phone.
There are other patients in this hospital.
Yeah, well, they can write letters or something.
Oh, I didn't realize you were so special, Mr. Baldwin.
Mike. You can call me Mike, darling.
Can I?
Yeah. And what's your name?
Nurse Phillips.
Yeah, I know, but you weren't christened Nurse Phillips, were you?
No, strangely enough, I wasn't.
So what's your full name, then?
Full name? My full name is Staff Nurse Phillips, Mr. Baldwin. Excuse me. I'll let you know as soon as the phone's free.
How is it this morning, nurse?
Well, there's no real change in his condition, but the night nurse said he'd had a very comfortable night, and we've given him a bed bath. Now, don't worry, will you, if while you're with your husband, the nurse comes in from time to time to make observations and do things. It's only routine, all right?
Yes.
And there's a buzzer at the top of the bed, so if you see any signs of him coming round, you'll let us know straight away, won't you?
Yes.
Come and have a look at him, then. Now, you just stay as long as you like.
Thank you.
Have you eaten?
What?
Have you eaten something this morning?
Oh, yes, yes.
Good. Well, I'll bring you a cup of tea, though, shall I, in about 10 minutes or so?
Thank you.
Right. You give me a buzz if you want anything.
Thanks.
You know, I think it's marvellous the way you're carrying on, despite the building being in ruins all around you.
It was only a window that went.
Oh, isn't she great, eh? It was that attitude that saved this country during the last war and during the Blitz. The Rovers return. We never close.
What do you know about the Blitz?
I've seen it on the telly, didn't I?
I remember being here during the war. I was on leave. Yeah. And they dropped a bomb at the end of Inkerman Street.
Huh?
What did you do, run for your life?
No, they were here. We grabbed our pints, went under the tables. I mean, you couldn't go out because the bombing was on.
You must have had it hell in those days, Stan.
And what happened when you'd supped up?
Well, we waited till it went a bit quiet, then nipped out and filled them up, you know.
You know, your generation had it dead rough, didn't you, Stanley?
Oh, aye. We saved your bacon, that's a fact.
Gee, why should Britain tremble?
You don't think it could be, do you, that he doesn't want to speak to me to break the news?
Pardon, Mrs. Walker?
Mr. Cresswell.
What about him?
Well, I rang up Newton and Riddler's again this morning, and they said he was out. Can't help wondering.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Walker, but well, I don't know what you're on about exactly.
Now, you heard what Eddie Yates said yesterday about that public house that was pulled down after it had been damaged in an incident.
Oh, and you think that they might...
Well, we could easily think we were immune and then find the bulldozers at the door.
But they sent that surveyor chap to check over before we could reopen. I mean, he said it was good for another 50 years yet.
Elizabeth, dear, I am not saying that the Rovers is going to fall down about our ears, but sometimes a brewery, if they want to transfer a licence, they seize on an excuse like this to close down what is, after all, one of their older premises.
You think they might transfer? I mean, like you said.
Well, unfortunately, shan't know the answer to that until I've spoken to Mr. Cresswell.
I think you'll find it for someone in Alf's condition. There'll be no visiting restrictions at all.
I better get over there. What the hell I'm going to say to her, I don't know, but I'll find something.
Yeah, well, Rena, you'll certainly be glad of your moral support. Aye. Give her my love.
I will, yeah.
Take a manage for half an hour.
Oh, take as long as you like, Mrs. Walker. Not enough in to keep one of us busy.
I think I'll have a little lie down. I don't seem to have your rugged indifference to the future.
Well, that's because I never had much of a future to worry about.
Call me if it's necessary.
I will.
You know, it's nice to be able to do that, isn't it? If I lie down, it costs me money.
Shall I say it, or will you?
I think you better say it. I'd only use bad language.
I'd like to lie down. I'd take the afternoon off. I think it was a shock of yesterday, you know.
You weren't even here when it happened.
I was here in half an hour, wasn't I? I got the gory details from Hilda.
Oh, yes, Stan. I think you better go to the hospital and have a proper check-up, you know.
Yeah, I think I will. If I don't feel better after this drink.
If there were only something I could do.
Well, you're doing it, aren't you?
What?
Being here for when he comes round. You know, talking to the patient could help.
Talking?
Hmm. You see, we're not really sure just how much a person in a coma is aware of. So the sound of somebody's voice might just spark off a reaction. I mean, a particular voice.
You mean just talking about anything?
Well, something that he could remember or know about. Something important to him. Now, is there anything I can get you?
No, thanks.
You're all right, then?
Yes.
And you can only have the phone for one call at a time, I ask you.
Aren't you glad of the rest?
My idea of a rest, mate, is a 5-star hotel, not a 1-star hospital ward. Oh, and here's a little darling that's going to get me away from all this, aren't you, love?
Something troubling you again, Mr. Baldwin?
I was just telling my mate, Mr. Fairclough here, that you're going to get me into a private ward With a phone that doesn't keep walking away.
Only when there's one free.
Yeah, but you can do it, love.
I might have known you'd find a way of chucking your money around, even in here.
Well, if I can't spend it on myself, who can I spend it on?
Have you come to see Mr. Baldwin? Because it's
No, it's Mr. Roberts, Alf Roberts.
You a relative?
No, I'm a mate. A very good mate.
All right. His wife's in there with him at the moment. In you go.
See you later.
Yeah, right.
How do?
Len,
I just had half an hour to spare. I thought I'd pop in.
thanks.
It's now. Out I can do. Have they told you out?
Just that there's no change.
Hey, is it your anniversary? Today? Completely forgot about it.
They look so daft at home, so I brought them here. What good are they here?
Something for him to see when he comes round, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose so.
So that's where they should be.
They said I should talk to him. The nurse said.
What about?
Well, about anything he might respond to. Will you do it, Len? He knows your voice. Will you do it?
Yeah, I'll have a chat with Alf any day of the week.
Alf? Alf, love? Len's come to see you.
I've just been down to the Rovers. We were talking, about this and that. There's a few anniversary cards there for you. I forgot as usual. Your anniversary, I mean, not the wedding. That's not something you'd forget in a hurry, is it? Although some of us were a bit late, if I do recall. Remember, Rita and me turned up about 10 minutes after kick-off. Me with a gammy leg and her with a face like thunder. You remember? Still, it all turned out all right in the end, didn't it? We had a good do, really. You had a fight, if I remember. What was his name now? Joe, was it?
Are you sure I can't help you with those? I'm not an invalid, you know. There's hardly anything left to do. You just sit there and have your tea in peace. Oh, come on in. Hello, Mrs. Sharples.
Hello. I thought I'd just come along and see how you were getting on after yesterday.
Oh, recovering, I think. Sit down, Mrs. Sharples. There's a cup of tea in the pot.
Well, it's not doing any good in there. You better pour it out.
Tracy's just gone down for a nap, so I don't think there's much wrong with her.
Good. And what about you?
Oh, well, like I say, recovering.
Well, you've had a rough time, lass, and no mistake. And now what? You're going to take yourself off to your mother for a bit?
Well, I thought about it, and then I thought, my mum will never let it drop, and it'll just be like reliving it all again. So I'm stopping. And there's something else I feel as well. I don't know, I feel as if I've been given a second chance, you know.
Good for you, lass. It's time you had a bit of luck.
We must make sure she gets it.
Yes.
There we are.
So, what about that other young woman, the one that walked off with Tracy?
What, Sally Norton?
Yes, what's going to happen to her?
Well, I don't know. I'd not really thought about it, Mrs. Sharples.
I suppose the police...
She wants locking up and all them like her. But she'll get away with it, I expect.
Yeah, it's difficult to feel much sympathy. I mean, when children are involved.
Waste my time trying.
Oh, I must admit, well, some of the things I said, I've rather shouted at her yesterday. Well, I do feel a little ashamed.
Yeah. Well, none of us were thinking too clearly, were we?
Well, I know what I'd do with it if I went my way. And I'm sure you feel the same, being the mother.
I'm not really sure that I do, Mrs. Sharples.
Oh?
Yeah, well, when you think about it, I suppose she saved Tracy's life. Sally, I mean.
Well, accidentally.
Yeah, but it's what she did, though, really. And I'll always be grateful to her for that.
Mr. Baldwin.
Nurse Phillips, you couldn't keep away.
Not when the sister asked me to come and have a word with you, no.
About the private room?
Yes, there is a room free if you still want it.
Oh, well done, darling.
Nurse Phillips.
Darling, Nurse Phillips.
Yes. Now, you do understand the arrangement, don't you? This'll be what we call an amenity bed, for which you'll be charged. Now, that doesn't mean to say you're in here as a private patient. You'll still be treated under the National Health Scheme, okay?
Perfect. Be nice and cosy for the two of us, in there.
Well, for special patients, and of course you are a special patient, we do have certain extra treatments available.
Yeah?
Yes. For example, today you can have a cold water sponge bath and a bladder washout. No extra charge.
Oh, thanks. I'll just stick to the phone, thanks.
Thought you might.
I can't think of what else to say.
Do you think he heard any of that?
It's hard to say, isn't it?
Oh, it's hopeless.
No, it isn't. The doctors and nurses don't think it's hopeless.
Did they tell you that?
Yeah, of course they did.
If he'd just open his eyes, just move.
He will. You just give him time, that's all. How long is it since you ate?
Oh, I'm not hungry.
There's a sort of a cafeteria place downstairs. I'll stay here with him.
Yeah, I suppose I better have something.
Go and get yourself a cup of tea and something to eat. You can't live on fresh air forever, you know.
No.
Be as long as you like.
Thanks, Len. Thanks for talking about the wedding and everything.
It's all right. It may have helped him.
It helped me.
Well, Alfred, my old son, what else shall we talk about?
14p, please, can I?
Thank you. Will you have one, Mrs. Walker?
Oh, that's very kind of you to help me, Will. Thank you. I've got rather a headache.
She's still worrying about them pulling this place down. Who put that into her head? Well, she seemed to think it'd be cheaper than putting a new window in. I don't follow myself, exactly.
Oh, this lad'll have a drink, I'm sure.
I could stop the cup dry, I'll tell you.
I'm told you went to see Alf this afternoon, Len.
I had about half an hour to spare, so I thought I'd pop in. It did save Greenie a bit of trouble, you know.
How is he?
Well, to tell you the truth, I can't really tell you. I don't know. He's still out to the world, you know, not a flicker on his face. He's got one of those drip things on his arm.
Is that Alf Roberts you're talking about?
Yes, Len's just been to see him this afternoon.
Oh, is it then?
Well, like I was saying, I don't really know. He's just lying there. I mean, whatever they know, they're not telling us anything.
It's a telephone call for you, Mrs.
Oh,
Walker.
thank you, dear.
Mr. Creswell.
Oh,
Excuse me.
oh, right.
I tell you what, though. I don't think Greenie will stand much more of it. A few more days down there.
The shop's been closed all day.
I think it'll be closed a bit longer than all.
Looks like a load of trouble for them pair, then. Well, there'll be compensation, won't there?
Yes, I suppose so. I mean, the lorry will be insured, won't it? And then the, well, the brewery's bound to have some.
I don't think she's too bothered about that now, is she?
Hey, Stan, do you hear that? They're going to get compensation, them that were involved in the accident.
You mean they can claim for the after effect?
Well, we could try, couldn't we?
We?
Yeah, well, I think it's affected my nerves and all, you know. The knowledge that I could have been standing on the very spot. I mean, it doesn't bear thinking about. I mean, look at that. That must be worth a couple of thousand.
Yeah, I didn't think I could come in here again, either.
Well,
fine horse, you know.
that'll be the trauma, you see.
For what?
The trauma, Stanley. It can affect the habits of a lifetime, you know. You get yourself a good QC, you can retire early to the Bahamas. We both can.
It's not a flipping joke, you know. If you think it's so funny, go down and tell Alf Roberts. You might get him to laugh.
Sorry, Len, I was only...
It's the first thing you'd think of, isn't it? Compensation.
Well, I was the one that mentioned it.
Well, it was only a joke, mate.
Well, some good news with the groom, I'm glad to say.
What is it, Mrs. Walker?
Well, I know that other people have bigger problems, but that was Mr. Creswell on the telephone, and I'm very relieved to be able to tell you that the future of the Rovers has never been in any doubt.
Well, I'm sure we're all very glad to hear it, Mrs.
I could
Walker.
think of better news.
Well, it's nice to have something to be cheerful about, Len.
Yeah, why don't we have a flipping party while we're at it, eh?
Listen, Len Fairclough, there isn't anybody here that isn't truly sorry about Alf Roberts, but that's no reason why we should all go about with long faces 24 hours a day, no matter what. It's never been as into smile, and it's not going to be made one here.
Oh, here you are, then. Oh, hello, sunshine. Come in.
I see you've been pulling rank again.
Nothing to do with rank. Come on, sit down. Then.
I brought you these.
Oh, thanks. That's nice. Oh, yeah, very nice. If you can afford these, I'm paying you too much.
I knew I shouldn't have bothered.
You'd have been fired if you hadn't.
I can't win, can I? Didn't take you long getting in here, did it? And there's me thinking we had a National Health Service with no privilege.
No privilege, same treatment. I'm just paying for the frills, that's all.
Yeah.
Oh, and talking of frills, there's Nurse Phillips been looking after me. Looking after me like I was a baby, guarding me day and night. Thinks she fancies me, you know.
Is he like this all the time?
Most of it.
Yes, well, I'll keep those for you while you're in here, Mr. Baldwin. No smoking in the private rooms.
Hey!
I believe you now.
What?
About there being no privilege.
Oh, well, don't worry about her. I'm working on her.
Hello, Mrs. Roberts. Want to see me, dear?
I'm sorry to trouble you, but...
No trouble.
Well, it's Alf, you see. It doesn't seem to be showing any signs at all
No,
of...
not yet, no. The thing is, Mrs. Roberts, your husband has had a terrific blow to the back of his head. Now his body needs time to recover. I mean, it obviously wouldn't do for him to be running about and exerting himself in all sorts of ways. And this is why the body puts itself into a state of unconsciousness, to give the system time to recover.
Oh, well, how long do you expect him to be like this?
That's something we can't predict. I mean, as with everything else, different people react in different ways. In the meantime, we're doing all the investigations we can.
But he's going to be all right, isn't he?
Your husband's condition, Mrs. Roberts, is what we would expect it to be at this stage, following his accident.
But when do you expect him to come round? Tomorrow?
There's no such thing as a normal length of coma. Every individual is different.
I see.
I would say that your husband's condition is relatively encouraging.
Then they turned round and said, have you got anyone at home that can look after you? Of course, like a mug. I said, no. So they said, oh, well, in that case, you'll have to stay in for a few more days.
Oh, so that means it could be a good few days then?
Oh, yeah, at least.
Oh.
So what's going to happen to Mike Baldwin Enterprises by I am laying here like a dummy, eh?
Well...
Answer. They will carry on as usual. And do you know why?
Why?
Because I've got this highly trained and very capable young man waiting in the wings ready to step into my shoes. Didn't tell you about him, did I?
No.
Oh, yeah, well, it's only until I'm ready to step back in. And do you know who this man is, waiting to take my place at any time?
No.
Well, can't you guess?
Well, do you mean me?
Well, there's a clever boy. Carefully selected and trained for just this situation. Anyway, there wasn't anyone else, was there?
Oh, thanks.
Oh, now, don't you play hard to get as well. Look, I'll tell you the truth. And mind you, I don't do this often, but in this case I make an exception. To tell you the truth, I've been thinking about this for quite a while. You know, letting you take over, take the reins for a bit. Mind you, I didn't exactly picture this, but as it is, it's, well, it's just come along a bit quicker than I thought it would.
So I'll be in charge then?
You will be in sole and total command, my son. How does that suit you?
Well, look, I'm sorry about you being stuck in here.
Oh, yeah, I bet you are. Like hell.
You'll want to be kept informed, though.
I would appreciate the odd word, yeah.
Right.
Now, look, I don't have to brief you on what takes priority, do I? Because you know all that already. Now, don't forget that Newcastle order has to go out next week. Everything else has to wait, right?
Don't worry. I know. Leave it to me.
Right, if you have any trouble at all with the girls, see Ivy, right?
I can manage. You never know what I might have achieved by the time you come back. Soaring profits, turnover doubled.
Well, you do that and I'll be very pleased. On the other hand, if anything goes wrong, you know who'll be taking the can, don't you?
Men's medical, please. Ward 3B.
I've not come shopping, lovey. I've just popped in to see how... Oh, sorry.
Oh, sister. Hello. I'm inquiring about Mr. Roberts. How is he this morning? It's Mrs. Roberts. Oh. None at all. Oh, thank you. I'll be along later. Thank you. There's still no change.
Well, at least they've not said he's got worse.
Oh, it's been 4 days now, Betty.
Yep. I mean, I've read, you know, where people have been out for much longer than that. Weeks sometimes, and then they come round as right as rain.
Sometimes when I see him just lying there, I think he'll
Now,
never...
stop it. That'll get you nowhere, lovey. Alf will be back shouting the odds before you know where you are.
I want to believe you.
Look, it's nature's way of healing, lovey. You know, like sleeping it off when you've got the flu.
Have you any idea what you're on about, Betty?
Well, the important thing is to keep cheerful at a time like this. I mean, for your sake as well as his.
Cheerful?
Well, you know what I mean. I mean, look on the bright side. If you're always going to be expecting the worst... Well, anyway, you haven't slept, have you? I'll get you a nice hot drink, and then you're going straight to bed, and that's the boss's orders.
Oh, I can't, Betty. I'll have to keep shop open for a couple of hours yet, and then I'm off to the hospital.
You're never thinking of keeping this place open, the state you're in. Oh, look, you'll collapse.
Collapse if I don't. It's the only thing to do, you know, is keep going.
Give me Steve Fisher, will you? Well, Mike Baldwin, who does it sound like? Here, is that you, Claire? Ida? Well, what are you doing answering the phone, and where's Steve, anyway? Oh. Oh, no. Tell him to phone me directly he gets back, will you? At the hospital. Yes, he's got the number.
Sorry, that's enough.
Oh, now, come on, darling. Use your strong arm tactics on the doctors, not on me.
Other patients want to use this phone, you know. It's not for your exclusive use. Anyway, you've got a visitor.
At this ungodly hour of the morning, tell him to go away.
It's only me, Mr. Baldwin. You don't have to worry if you're not looking beautiful.
Here, what are you doing here? You should be at work.
That's all gratitude I get for dragging all this way here and fetching you this.
Well, could at least say thank you.
You're supposed to be tending my wounds, woman, not me manners.
It's from all girls we've had a whip round.
Yeah, well, thanks. I just phoned the factory. Steve's not in either.
No, he's had to make a call at Clifton's first thing, only it's the only time Mr. Clifton could see him.
Oh, well, as long as he gets a good order this time. Only one of you should be there, you know. I mean, who's looking after the shop?
It won't fall apart, you know, just 'cause both of us out for half an hour. It's the only time I could come in. Anyway, girls are all in.
Are they?
You know your trouble, don't you?
What?
You don't trust nobody. You think that everybody's going to take advantage of you the minute your back's turned.
With good cause, darling. They're usually flaming well do.
All right. I don't want to overstay me welcome. How long before you get shuttering?
Today, if it was up to me.
Look, all I need is the love of a good woman to tend for me in my hour of need. Any takers?
Oh.
Yeah, my old dad was right. There are no good women.
And aren't you glad?
Now, listen to her. She's evil. I thought all nurses were supposed to...
Oh, that's a good way of shutting him up. Hey, I wouldn't mind borrowing that.
See how she speaks to the boss. You wouldn't talk to me like that if I was on my feet again,
Now,
would
look,
you?
would you mind
Now,
putting
just
that-
a sec, darling, then you can have me at your mercy for the rest of the day. Lucky old you. Ivy, look after Fisher for me, will you?
How do you mean?
Well, I've had to leave him in charge temporary, and I think he'll be able to cope, but...
You mean keep a motherly eye on him?
Yeah, that sort of thing. I mean, he's bright enough, but he is still a kid, you know.
Oh, not old and experienced like us, eh? Right, look, you just get yourself fit, and will you stop worrying?
All right.
Right.
Ta-ra.
Ta-ra, love. Thanks for coming.
She seems nice.
Yeah, she's all right in patches.
You don't know your luck.
Oh, don't I?
I see Vera's in.
Oh, yeah.
Good, where?
You what?
Where's she hiding? Under the bench?
She's only gone to laugh. She'll not be a minute.
I see.
Hey, you're supposed to be at Clifton's.
Oh, yes, well, I did get there, only Mr. Clifton's off sick with food poisoning, unluckily for him. And as it turns out, unluckily for you, too.
Oh, I've only been doing a bit of shopping.
Yeah, and who clocked you in? Was it Ida?
Yeah, she was just doing me a favour. Anyway, I can make time up.
Of course you will.
Oh, that's all right, then.
For the moment.
Here, what's he up to? No, he's up to something I can tell. Will you stop fretting? He won't do out. It's too wet him anyway to take all us lot on his own. Yeah, look. Dad.
What are you doing here? Where's Rena?
Oh, I'm standing in for an hour or two. She was itching to get to the hospital.
How is Alf?
No change.
That's a shame, isn't it?
It is. She'll have a breakdown, you know, if she goes on the way she is. I mean, I can't help full-time as much as I'd like to. How about you, love?
What about me?
You still have to work.
Till I get a decent job, yeah.
There you are, then. You can step in.
Here? Oh, you must be joking.
Well, why am I? I mean, Reenie needs help. You need a job.
Slicing flaming bacon? I'm not that desperate, thanks very much.
Not even if it means helping out a friend.
Reenie's not exactly... Oh, come on, Betty, have heart. It's all very well you being Mrs. Fix-It, but I've got my own problems to sort out. Look, I'm on my way now to the job centre. What if they offer me something fantastic? I can't turn it down for this. All due respect.
Yeah, you're right, lovey. I mean, they might offer you top modelling job for Hartnell's. Or lady-in-waiting to the Queen. I'd hate you to miss out, love.
Pupils are equal. Pupillary reaction quite brisk. Have you noticed any response?
No, Doctor.
No response to sound stimulation?
No, Doctor, nothing at all.
Oh, I'm sorry, Doctor, I didn't know.
It's all right, Mrs. Roberts. I'm just on my way. You can come in.
It's still the same.
I'm afraid so. But we're doing everything we can, I promise you that.
Yes, I know you are. It's just that it's so...
I know. Waiting's the worst part.
He's very nice, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
It's just that sometimes you can't talk to him, you know. They make you feel 6 inches tall, but he seems quite human. Will it be all right if I put that on there?
Yes, of course. Is this on holiday?
No, it was just a day we had out at the Yorkshire Dales. It was a lovely day, and... Well, I thought it might be nice for him to see when he comes round.
Yes, of course.
Is it all right if I come in for a bit?
Well, so long as it is just a minute.
Thank you. How is he? No change.
Oh, I don't know. I sit here and talk to him, but nothing. Not even a flicker.
It'll happen.
Yeah.
What about you? You don't look too good, you know. You'll have to take a bit of care of yourself as well.
Well, I mean, with the worry here and shop to run.
Well, can't you shut it for a bit?
I can't, but then I don't really want to. I mean, I want something to occupy my mind when I'm not here, and the trouble is getting somebody to run it when I am here.
Who's there now?
Betty, but she can't stop all that long. I mean, she has her own job to see to.
You're the one who's going to crack up next, you know. All this dashing backwards and forwards. Then who's going to look after me lad away when he gets back on his feet?
Well, not much choice, have I? I could get my mother, I suppose, but she'd be useless in shop. I'd have more trouble then than I have now.
Well, it must be someone.
So tell me, how does he look, eh? Is he all bandaged up like a mummy? No, he's not, you goon shaper. She's never happy till she sees blood, this one. Do you know, I can't imagine Baldwin all bashed up, though. He always looks so immaculate.
Yeah, I wonder who does his washing for him.
Why, are you thinking of volunteering? Hey, he's going to want somebody to look after him for a bit when he comes out. Hey, I wouldn't mind taking him on. But I don't think old man would stand for it.
Nor would Mike Baldwin.
There's a lot of talking going on.
Yes, well, we can talk and work machines at the same time, so happens.
Yeah, we're very gifted that way.
Cut the jokes, will you, Vera? We'll be well enough behind as it is with you two skiving off this morning.
Oh, we're skiving. You know very well where I was, I told you.
Yeah, but you didn't have to go to the hospital in working hours, now did you?
Yes, I did. I explained to you.
You should have asked me first if you could go, shouldn't you? Not just do it off your own bat.
Hey, give over. We are flipping boss you went to see and all, you know.
I haven't forgotten, Vera, and I haven't forgotten about this morning either.
What about this morning?
Oh, no.
I wouldn't say that, Vera. As a matter of fact, I'd like to have a word with you about it. No, not now. We've wasted enough time. Before you go to dinner.
Hey, that's in my time.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
The cheeky young devil.
Oh, cool it, eh? Look, he's only training on somebody else's boobs. He'll soon find out they're a bit too big for him.
Hey, darling, a word.
I've just got this craving for a tomato juice, isn't it funny? I mean, you know how seldom
Can I have a
come in
tomato
here.
juice for her, love?
Oh,
Tomato juice, nothing in it.
no, just a tomato juice, thank you.
Come here, love. To the facts of life now. I want you to do me a favour.
Yeah.
Or to be more precise, I want you to do Reenie Roberts a favour.
Yes.
How are you fixed for spending some time in the corner shop?
What about the cabin?
Oh, no, Rita will cope. It's only till Alf gets back on his feet, you see. She desperately needs someone she can trust. And she can look after Alf more, you see.
He's no better, I hear.
Not really, no.
Well, I mean, I'm willing. I'd like to help Reenie out, and I must confess I'd enjoy the change, but
Well, what'll Rita say?
Ah, she won't mind. She'll enjoy the chance of doing a good turn to Rennie. Now, you leave Rita to me.
I do like having me dinner with you, Brian.
Yeah, it's a pity we can't do it more often.
Well, it's only 'cause I helped Emily sort out the freezer last night. She said I could have an extra half hour.
See, if you didn't work in a cafe, we could have all our dinner times together.
Well, I have to work. It's my job. Well, until...
Do you have another lemonade?
No, thanks. I've got enough here. I was thinking something in the middle of the night. You know how you wake up and things go through your head?
Oh, I don't wake up much as a rule. My mum says a bombing room wouldn't wake me.
Hmm. Well, I was thinking, I've been going out with you longer than I've been going out with any boy before. Do you know how long that is?
3 months and 4 days.
Yeah. Oh, Brian, aren't you lovely?
Ah, you're not so bad yourself.
Yeah, well, I usually get fed up and chuck 'em in by now, but I've not got fed up of you. Have you got fed up of me?
Does it look like it?
No. Well, it must mean something, mustn't it, us stopping together? We must have an awful lot in common.
Hey, up. Don't you two ever let go of each other? I'm beginning to think they've stuck you both together with that super glue.
That's just what I was saying, Mr. Tilsley. How close we are.
Ah, well, you better make the most of it. You're only young once, you know.
Hey, look at the time. I should have been back at Gareth's 10 minutes ago. Are you coming?
Yeah.
Hey, up, seeing them two together makes me wish I was 21 again, you know.
I bet you had a real go in your time, I bet.
No names, no pack drill, Fred.
It's all as the quiet ones, eh?
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely not the loud ones. I mean, look at you. You're as loud as Big Ben and you get nowhere.
What does she know? I mean, don't women make a lot of assumptions, eh?
Never mind about assumptions. It's not 5 minutes since you were moaning because you wanted to get married and you couldn't find anybody.
That were ages ago. Lots happened since then. And anyway, I don't tell you everything.
You don't tell me anything. But I'm not bad at guessing.
What do you mean you're docking me flipping pay?
You were half an hour late, so I'm docking you half an hour's pay, all right?
No, it Flamer, well, ain't all right. For a start, I were only 20 minutes late. Ask Ida.
Look, I'm not arguing with you over a few minutes. The whole point is you were late. You did it quite deliberate, and you got somebody to clock in for you, which is strictly against the rules.
Well, everybody breaks flipping rules.
Not when I'm in charge, they don't.
Oh, I know, says you're in charge, any road.
Mr. Baldwin?
Well, if he wants to dock me pay, let him do it when he gets back. I mean, he's the boss, you know, not you. And just in case you've any more daft ideas, that goes for all the girls.
Are you sure? This is messing you about a bit.
Oh, it's not messing me about at all. I shall enjoy working here.
Well, I must say it'll be a great relief.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll just nip back to the cabin and I'll explain to Rita and then I'll come straight back.
Start straight away?
Oh, yeah, Mr. Fairclough says so.
What does Rita say?
Well, she'll understand. I mean, well, everybody wants to help out in a situation like this.
Well, I must admit it'll be nice to sit back and relax with him this afternoon, knowing everything's in your capable hands.
Oh, well, I wouldn't say that exactly. Because, I mean, I have worked here before, you know, so I'm not a novice exactly.
You're a godsend, Mavis. That's what you are, a godsend.
No, everything's fine. Honest. Just fine. I said you could leave it to me, didn't I?
Well, keep it that way, Sunshine. I want to come back and find the business still a going concern. Oops, gotta go now. My keeper's just come in. See ya. Well, everything's going swimmingly back at the ranch, so I can give you my undivided attention. Now then, when are you gonna marry me?
Hiya. Hello. Give us a vodka and bitter lemon. I'm dead fed up.
They didn't have half a dozen amazing jobs going then, eh? Betsy, she told me.
They had one or two, but none just quite right, you know. One didn't sound too bad, but it were miles away. Warrington. I'm not commuting 2 flaming hours a day.
Well, there always seem to be plenty of jobs in the paper when I look.
She's not wrong there. Come on, let's see what we can find you. Here you go, look. Supermarket manageress, experienced person, able to work on own initiative.
Great. What experience have I got at supermarkets about flogging sausages for a day?
Look, secretary, personal assistant.
I cannot do shorthand and typing, can I?
Not a lot you can do from what I can see.
Hang about, look, what about this? Bricklayers, stroke, odd carriers, male, stroke, female. Big, strong lass like you, that should be a doddle.
I thought you were trying to help.
You see what equality's done for you? Now, before, you wouldn't have stood a chance at getting a job like that. It would have been... Yes, Michael, well, my ambition is to travel, to care for old people and to care for young people and to be a world champion odd carrier.
Oh, give it here. Let me, Luke.
Come on, don't snatch. Let your Uncle Fred have a chance. Now, here you go, look. Bright young person for jewellery sales. Now, that's a nice little job, that. And you'll find yourself a rich husband as well. No, hang about.
Now what?
School leaver preferred.
Oh, you're too old, Chuck. Refined, mature woman required. Well, you're neither of them, either. It's not easy. Now then. Oh, here's one. Age not specified. You don't have to be experienced or a car driver or a qualified steel erector.
Well, go on.
Early morning cleaners required. Good rates of pay. Well, it's a job, isn't it?
Came a bit strong there, didn't you, Betty? It's not like you, that.
Well, serve her right for being so flipping choosy. One of these days, you know, Fred, she's going to need a helping hand. I only hope she finds one.
What do you mean you're docking the pay?
Look, I've told you, I'm docking half an hour's pay.
And I told you I were only 20 minutes late.
Look, I'm sorry, but I've made my decision and that's it. And anybody else that tries the same trick will get the same treatment, right?
Right. What's she doing now?
What the heck do you think you're doing?
Only claiming what's my own. I admit I were 20 minutes late, but that stingy devil's going to clock me half an hour. So I've 10 minutes owing me and I'm taking them.
Oh, Vera, you can't.
Well, just let him try and stop me.
You're only causing more trouble. Ivy'll not like it when she gets back from the dentist.
Ivy'll have to like it, won't she? She'll have to support me. I mean, she's supposed to be flipping shop steward.
Do you want sliced beans or whole, Mr. Tatlow?
Which is cheapest?
Oh, the sliced.
Right, well, I'll have sliced. They all go down the same road.
Right, I'm off. Oh, well, stop as long as you like. I'll be fine.
I'm very grateful to you, Mary.
Right, your worries are over. Well, as far as the shop's concerned, that is.
How do you mean?
I have come to volunteer my services as temporary manageress. Wages, hours and perks open to negotiation.
Well, you're a bit late, aren't you?
I can't be. You had no one this morning. Betty said so.
Well, you should have come this morning, shouldn't you?
I couldn't have to go into town.
Yes, after a better job.
What's that got to do with it? I hear you want help and I'm here to offer it.
Well, Mavis has already offered and been accepted.
Well, I can always go back to the cabin if you want, Susie.
There's no need for that, if that's all right to you.
Well, yes, of course. Oh, that's not flaming fair. She's got a job. I haven't.
Well, I can't help that, love. Anyway, I can't stand arguing here. I've got a bus to catch.
Flaming gratitude.
I'm glad you said that. She wants taking down a peg or two, that young woman.
But why did you?
Well, partly because I agree with Mr. Tatlock. I mean, she came in here like she was doing me a great favour. And partly because I'd rather have you.
Oh, would you?
Of course she would. Out's better than that young scatterbrain.
And he come in here chucking his weight around, didn't he, Ida?
Just like a little one.
Andy docked me half an hour's pay on top. So it's up to you. Worry. To put him in his place.
Nip him at bud.
Yeah, before he gets drunk with power.
Who he is already.
Oh, steady on, lasses. There's no need to get so wet up.
Listen, you'll have to have a word with him. I mean, you're supposed to be looking after our interests.
Yes, but we've got to be looking after Mike Baldwin's interests and all, haven't we?
Poor Mike Baldwin.
He is bashed up in hospital. I mean, we don't want to add to his worries, do we? I cause a lot of fuss and bother in here.
So we have to put up with young Iron Mighty then? You mean that we have to stand for him treating us like dirt?
Oh, give over exaggerating. Look, he's young, isn't he? He's only to be expected a bit of authority or good to his head. Give him a chance, will you? For poor Mike's sake.
I'll murder that Betty when I see her.
It's not her fault.
Well, whose flaming fault is it? Mine?
Yeah, as a matter of fact. You should have gone round to Rena's first thing this morning when Betty mentioned it to you.
The trouble is, you're too choosy, Susie.
Watch it, lad. You nearly made a joke.
Oh, cheer up, Susie. Something'll turn up.
Yeah. It's just I get dead bored. I mean, the demonstrating's all right and I'm actually doing it, but it's hardly what you call regular employment, is it?
Look, can I get both you girls a drink?
Yeah, go on. You know, he's not a bad lad in spite of what I say.
What is she up to, That's what I'd like to know. I don't care if he does hear me. And I'll tell her and all to her face if she comes in.
Well, how do you know she's up to anything?
Oh, grow up, Chuck. Ivy. Oh, what it led us into that striker. Oh, what it made us stick it out when half of us wanted to go back. That's your Ivy. Sticking up for his rights. Where is she now?
Perhaps she didn't think they were all worth fighting over.
But one of her colleagues.
colleagues victimise and penalise, and she don't think it's worth bothering over. Well, if that's the case, she wants pensioning off, and we'll get somebody else to stand up for us.
Strikes me you can stand up for yourself quite happily when it comes to crunch. I don't know what the heck you need Ivy for.
'Cause she's my mate, that's why. Or she was.
Do you remember, love, that day we had at the waterfalls at Aysgarth? Oh, it was a lovely day. And it was all muddy. And you kept going on at me because I didn't have proper shoes on. But I didn't care. I didn't mind ruining them at all, because when we got to the waterfalls, they were so beautiful. And then we went and had a cup of tea at that little cafe. And scones and fresh cream. And that funny woman kept going on about my sister. No use telling her I didn't have a sister. Then we came back through Malham and walked round the tarn. And by then the sun was just setting, and it was so peaceful that we just wanted to stay there forever. So we booked in at that little pub. Do you remember, love? Alf. Doctor! I think my husband's coming round. Oh, Alf, please, please come round, please. He's opened his eyes twice, Doctor.
You're all right. He's showing the first signs of regaining consciousness.
Oh, thank God. Doctor, when will he be properly better?
Oh, that's difficult to say, Mrs. Roberts.
Well, sure you have some idea. I mean, a couple of days, a couple of weeks. I don't care as long as he gets better. He will get completely better, won't he?
Let's hope so.
What does that mean? You don't think he will?
He'll certainly recover from the state he's in at present, but as to what progress he'll make beyond that... Well, he's had very severe concussion, Mrs. Roberts. At this stage, it's impossible to predict just how complete his recovery will be.
You mean he might be a permanent invalid? Is that what you're telling me?
I'm telling you, I don't know, Mrs. Roberts. And that's all I can tell you.
Morning, Ida.
Morning. Vera not in yet, is she?
I haven't seen her.
Well, if you've not seen her, she's not in then, is she? By heck, you cut that fine, didn't you?
Don't blame me, blame Bussies.
I know, but he won't.
Well, you know what he can do, don't you?
Morning.
Morning, sir.
Oh, come on, get your coat on. Seen Ivy yet, have you?
Ain't she in?
No.
Oh, well, it'd be interesting to see if he dots her half an hour's pay, won't it?
Do you reckon there's something going on between them two that we don't know about?
There must be. She won't have a word said against him.
Like what?
That's what I'd like to know.
Morning. Morning. So were you?
I'm fed up of being treated like an naughty little school kid.
By who?
Oh, dear old thing. Boy, wondering there.
He's been hovering around like a flaming vulture.
I've told you, don't bother about him. But we are bothered, Ivy. We're bothered a lot. And we reckon if he carries on like this much longer, you're going to have to do something about it.
Oh, well, all right then. Seeing as you've got all answers, perhaps you can tell me what. Go on, tell me, what do you expect me to do?
Well, a warning to his future conduct to be good for a start.
You're supposed to be our shop steward.
There's no supposed about it.
Well, that's not the way it's looking to us. We're being harassed, us, you know, from morning till night. And you're just letting it happen.
And we've just about had enough, Ivy.
Oh, I see. That's where wind's blowing, is it?
It is.
So what are you going to do about it?
Well, not a lot as it happens, because there's not a lot I can do, is there?
Oh, not a lot you want to do. I noticed you haven't docked your pay.
I haven't been late, have I? Look, you're complaining that you're being harassed, aren't you?
Right.
Well, have you just thought that he might be ain't right?
Him?
Yes, go on, I'm asking you. What's he doing wrong? And I mean wrong. You tell me one thing he's done that he's not been entitled to do.
Well, Mr. Baldwin don't dock us pay for being a few minutes late for a start.
And he don't stand over us as if we'd run away and all if we didn't.
Well, we've been very lucky then, haven't we? We've been lucky that Mr. Baldwin's there has got away with it.
Oh, so you're not going to do it about him?
Look, I'll do something as soon as he does something that he's not entitled to do. But until then, it's up to us to keep his noses clean, right?
But tell me, what right has he got, eh?
He's got every right, Ida. Because until Mr. Baldwin comes back, whether we like it or not, he is our boss.
I take it we are going to get some work done today, then, eventually.
Oh, come on, lasses. Let's get on with it, eh?
Is there anything I can get you, love?
Oh, I don't think so.
How are you feeling now?
Tired.
Just that? No pain?
No, just, you know, tired.
Yeah. Well, I'll be here if you want anything.
I know you will.
How does he seem?
Oh, he's much better. He's been talking to me again.
Well, I'm a lot happier now than I was this time yesterday, Mrs. Roberts. You look as though you could do with a good night's sleep. You're going to have to look after yourself, you know.
Oh, I'm all right. I'd sooner be here.
I understand.
Doctor,
Yes, Mrs. Roberts.
could I have a word?
Go ahead.
Well, outside.
What is it, Mrs. Roberts?
He's going to be all right, isn't he?
I'm satisfied with his progress. Quite pleased, in fact.
That's not what I meant.
No?
Well, I can't get out of my head what you were saying about not knowing how complete a recovery he's going to make.
Look, there's no point in you worrying yourself unduly, Mrs. Roberts. That's not going to help anyone, is it?
Well, I can't help worrying, can I?
Look, he's regained consciousness and he's doing very nicely. All the tests we've carried out have been satisfactory.
Well, why shouldn't he be like he was before?
And the chances are he will be.
But if there's a chance of any after effects, don't you think I ought to know what they're likely to be? I'm worrying myself sick.
Look, all I can tell you is what you know already. Everything appears to be going well. It's not possible for me to say just how complete his recovery will be because I just don't know. In some cases, after an injury of this sort, people have been left with after effects, recurring headaches, outbursts of inexplicable temper over seemingly trivial incidents, that sort of thing. But I must emphasize that there are no signs that your husband will suffer any of these problems.
So he could go back to work and drive his car and all the things he did before the accident.
The chances are he will. But I can't say definitely.
Is he likely to have blackouts or anything?
Look, I'd be being less than honest with you if I said categorically the answer was no. All I can tell you is that at the moment, as far as we can determine, there are no signs that this will happen. Look, a couple of days ago, he hadn't even come round. Now look at him. So don't worry. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Yes. Thank you, Doctor.
Hello, Mama. I was just passing. The doctor said it'd be okay as long as it didn't stay too long.
Hello, then.
What's the matter? There's nothing happened, is there?
No, he's doing very nicely. He's been talking to me again.
Oh, well, there you are. He'll be as right as rain before he can turn round.
Well, let's hope so.
Hey, now, what's that supposed to mean?
Well, nothing really. The doctor thinks he'll make a complete recovery. He's quite pleased with him.
Well, so what's up?
Well, there's always a chance.
Now, come on. It's daft talking like that. Talking about something that may never happen.
Yeah, that's what the doctor said.
Well, he's dead right, isn't he? Come on, I'll buy a cup of tea. You look pretty awful, you know.
Got nothing to do, Ida? I'm only asking Vera something.
I can see that, but does it have to take nearly 10 minutes?
Are you going to let him talk to us like that?
Oh, come on, lasses. He does happen to be right, you know.
For a flaming change.
Look, Vera, I've told you. Let him step out of line now, clobber him. But as long as you're giving him ammo to fire, what do you expect me to do?
Not a lot. It's nice to know your mates are, though, isn't it?
Oh, we do. Don't you fret.
Hello, Mike. How are you feeling?
Me? I'm fine. It's you I'm worried about. Yeah, you're supposed to phone me every morning. What's up?
Nothing's up. Everything's great. I just didn't see much point in bothering you, that's all.
The girls will behave themselves, darling.
Oh, I've got a meeting out of my hand.
Good. Well, no heroics. Just keep the place running. That's what you're getting paid for.
Oh, you just leave it to me. You concentrate on getting back on your feet again.
Right. Well, you know where I'll be if you need me.
I'll see you.
Right. Cheers.
Finished?
Yeah, for the time being. Oh, you're not taking it away again, are you?
There are other people wanting to make phone calls, you know.
Oh, come on. You know you're only using that as an excuse to come in here because you fancy me?
Oh, there's no point in fighting it, is there?
Oh, I've been telling you that for days. Well, now you've finally fallen under my spell. Do I get my evil way with you?
What did you have in mind?
Another 10 minutes.
You'll have to marry me for that. Now, don't get too comfy, will you? We think it's about time you became mobile. Gonna bring some crutches round for you later on, so be a good boy and don't try everything at once. I reckon the end of the week should see you on your way.
I don't sound so pleased about it.
Me? I'm broken-hearted.
Hello. Hey, not your own again, is it?
Hey, clever clog. Some of us have to work for a living, you know.
Yeah, I had noticed.
Ta-ra, Mr. Tilsley.
Oh, by the way, before you ask, the pies, they are hot.
All the same to me, if they're stone cold. I've eaten.
Me too.
So I'll have an half, unless that's not an all, and Gail will have a grapefruit juice.
Half grapefruit juice. Come on.
Oh, will I?
Why, do you want something else? I thought you wasn't too keen on hard stuff for dinner.
I'm not, but it's nice to be asked.
You're beginning to sound like your mum again.
Am I?
Well, don't say it like that. She's not that bad.
Of course she's not.
How long have you got?
Half an hour.
Do you fancy a quick run out on my bike?
I'd rather just stop here and talk.
So it's me?
Honest?
Of course. Anything to save me petrol.
Hey, you. Just been making straight again, are they?
Shut it.
Hey, you wouldn't think she was madly in love with me, would you?
If that's the way it is, you can go and fetch me a drink. I'm really skint as it is any road. Is anyone sitting here? Does it look like it? Tar, it's nice to be wanted. Hey, can you make mine a Coke? I do want folk talking.
She must be worn out, poor Renee.
Yes, I asked her if she'd like to come back here and have a rest, you know, but she said she'd rather stay down there.
Well, I mean, if he's been talking to her, I mean, it must be a tonic.
As long as it's going to be all right, that's the main thing.
Yeah, of course it is, yeah. Hey, now that he's come round, how about having a bit of a whip round, eh? Send something in. You know, like a crate of scotch or a dozen assorted barmaids.
Well, a good idea. We're thinking about it.
Yeah.
What a good idea. Oi, Fred,
What?
your wallet's needed.
What for?
A whip round. Dan thinks we ought to send something over to Al.
Oh, yeah. 50p, OK?
Oh, yeah, great. Right. Have you got anything to put it in, love?
Hang
You
on.
know, put it in that.
Good lad, Albert.
I'll just go and get my purse.
Great.
All right. Yeah, have that. It's all I can afford.
Hey, no, Albert, you shouldn't do that.
Why not? He's a neighbour of mine as well, isn't he?
No, I think that's too much out of your pension.
We're not talking about pensions. We're talking about folk, and that makes all the difference.
Thanks. Thanks, Albert.
Here, what do you reckon he's up to now? He's never moved. I can see that, but he's up to summits. There.
Hey, you'll have him breathing next.
What's up now?
I don't know. He's been stood there watching us. Do you know, I reckon any minute now, one of us is going to get 100 lines.
Well, what's wrong with him just standing there?
I don't know, but he's up to summits. He was stood there from the minute you went out till just now, till she come back, and then he went and wrote something down.
Vera, you're imagining it.
He's spying on us. He's keyholing. He's clocking every move we make.
Is he Eckers like? He's not that daft.
He's not daft if he thought it'd do him any good with Mike Baldwin.
Well, I'm going to find out what he's up to.
Oh, yes, now do you reckon you're going to do that? Are you just going to walk in here and ask him?
Get him out of that office.
Me?
You heard. Get him out. I want to see what he's been writing. Not unless you'd like to do it.
I'm having nothing to do with it.
Right, Ida.
Steve,
What is it, Ivy?
my needle seems to have jammed.
Oh. Dear, oh dear. What have you been doing to it?
I haven't done nothing, have I? It's just stuck.
Well, it seems all right to me.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, very funny.
Here. What did I tell you?
Here, Vera, what do you think you're up to?
Oh, no. What do you think you're up to, Mr. Ironmaster Fisher? Or can you explain this?
What is it?
It's a list of every break we've had since we came in this morning. All of us. When we left as machines, what time we come back.
You flaming spy!
Oh, now, look, come on, hang on a minute. I'm only doing this for you, you know.
Oh, spy spying on us?
Look, I'm looking into ways of increasing production. And more production means more money in your pockets.
You were spying on us?
But hang on a minute, give me that.
Oh, I'm what you're going to say. It were all in our interests.
Well, if you want to discuss ways of increasing productivity in this factory, there's proper channels of communication. And that does not include snooping on us.
No,
You have no right to do anything like that, Steve, without discussing it with those girls first.
Now, look, hang on a minute. Look, shut up, you lot! Now, look, Ivy, you may be the shop steward around here, but you've got no right to tell me how to do my job.
Oh, haven't I? You either tear that up, or we don't do another tap.
Well, I think we better see what Mr. Baldwin has to say about this.
Well, that suits me. Sit tight, girls, till I come back.
Oh, we will. Ivy, where are you going?
I'm going to phone Mr. Baldwin.
Ivy, I'm warning you. Now, look, while Mr. Baldwin's away, I'm in charge here, and don't you forget it. Ivy, do you hear me?
I heard all right.
Look, I'm the one he told to keep an eye on this place, you know.
Well, it's a pity he didn't tell you he told to keep an eye on you.
Well, who?
Who do you think?
You what? But, Ivy, you can't stop work. Now, look, Ivy, just get those girls back to work. I don't care how you do it, but get them back. All right, yeah, so Steve was wrong. Now, look, just get the girls back to work and then come round here and we'll talk about it, all right? Look, Ivy, look, is Steve there? Right, well, you put him on then, will you? Now, Steve, what the heck do you think you're doing down there? Don't you know there's a penalty clause in that contract? Now, listen, just get those girls back to work. I don't care how, just get them back to work. I told you to run the place, not bring it to a standstill. Undermining your authority? What authority? Who's running the factory? Look, I'll tell you who's running the factory. I am. As from now. Yes, that's right, I'm coming out. Nurse! Nurse!
What's the matter?
Give us a hand, will you, love? I've got to get out of here.
You can't. The doctor wouldn't hear of it.
Look, I'm not asking, I'm telling.
But you're doing so well. Another couple of days.
Another couple of days and I'll be bankrupt. Now, give us a hand, will you, love?
I'm sorry.
You what?
If you insist on leaving before the doctor says you're up to it, and that's your business. But don't expect me to help you.
All right, if that's the way you want it.
And it's your responsibility, not ours. Got it?
Got it.
How are you feeling now?
I think I'll pull through, you know.
Are you sure there's nothing I can get you?
Aye. Have you been here all the time?
Well, no, I popped out for a cup of tea when you were having 40 winks. Hey, now that's something you can stop when you get home, you know. Kipping half at day.
Anybody at home? Hello. Hello, love. Hello, Al. They said it'd be all right if we weren't too long.
We? Who's with you?
Oh, it's only Albert. Come on, love, he's all right. He's
Is he
decent.
all right?
Yeah, come on, love.
What have you
got there? Well, they had a bit of a collection at the Rovers and they got fruit. They asked me to bring it because I know I don't like grapes.
And these are for you.
Yeah. We thought they might cheer you up a little bit. How are you feeling, Alf, love?
Oh, not too bad, you know.
Hey, it's smashing to hear your voice.
Oh, thank you very much, but you shouldn't have, you know. Anyway, I'll pop in Rovers later on to thank them all. But if it does get a bit late, will you do it for me?
Yeah, of course we will.
Yeah, I was worried, you know.
Sure you did and all. Hey, don't let them get you rushing out of here too quick. Funny things could happen after bangs on the head.
Look who's here.
Oh, Mr.
Would you like a hand, Mr. Baldwin?
Haven't you done enough already?
Yeah.
Right, now, will someone tell me what the hell's going on?
Oh, it's...
Well, I was working on some proposals
He was
for
snooping on
Yeah,
us.
all right, just a minute. Now, you say he was snooping, he said he wasn't.
Right.
Right. Well, I'm in charge now. Have you got any quarrel with me?
We haven't. No, of course we haven't.
Okay, then, girls. Let's have a bit of action. Back to work, eh?
Right, Dozy says we've got no fight with him.
Hang on a minute, you. I want you two in the office. Shut that door, will you? What the hell are you two trying to do, eh? Bankrupt me?
Look, he's done nothing but harass my girls since the minute you went in hospital. From the time they come in the morning till the time they go home at night.
Harass them, that's a laugh. If they turn up on time, there wouldn't be any need. They've got away with far too much for far too long.
Yeah, all right. Hang on. As far as I'm concerned, there's water under the bridge. All I know is I was asked you to keep the place running, and what happened? Just stopped it. What did I tell you to do if you ran into any snacks?
Phone you.
Then why didn't you?
I did.
Yeah, when it was too late.
Look, what I was doing was my business. It had nothing to do with them.
What do you mean? Clocking every breath we take? I'd say it was a lot to do with us. Big Brother is not with us yet, you know.
All right, now hang on, you two. That's enough. Now, Ivy, if I guarantee no more clock watching, will you keep those machines running?
Yeah, of course we will.
Right.
But, Mr.
I'll
Baldwin...
have a word with you later.
Shall I talk girls?
No, I'll tell her myself. You hang on here. I can do without your support for a moment, thank you.
It was nice of them to think of us like that.
Yes, it was. Hey, I see me not remembering what happened before the accident, though.
Do you not remember going in Rovers?
No?
Do you not remember that we were talking before you left?
Yes, I remember that.
Do you remember what we were talking about?
No, what?
Well, we were talking about you leaving post office and coming to work in the shop with me.
Oh, aye. Yeah, we were. It's funny, isn't it?
What is?
Well, if I had been, you know, working in the shop, this might never have happened.
The times I've told myself that and all.
What's it like to be one at workers again, Ivy? Next it is to be one at bosses, I'll tell you. You know, I wouldn't fancy being in his shoes for a gold clock.
But if you work out how many hours, production hours are lost through bad timekeeping, unauthorised...
I tell you, a stopwatch in a situation like this is like a red rag to a bull.
I did not use a stopwatch, and you're not the only one that's peeved.
Peeved? After lousing up an order like that?
And whose fault was that?
It wasn't mine, Sunshine. I was in hospital.
Oh, and who was supposed to be in command?
You were.
And you had every confidence in me.
Yeah, of course I did.
So much so that you told Ivy Tilsley to keep an eye on me.
Yes, I did. Because in this world, you've got to make people think they're important. If I'd have just put you in charge and not told Ivy, you'd have had a confrontation from the start.
You could have told me.
Would that have made any difference? Why do you think they went back to work when I asked them, eh? Because whatever they think of me, they know they're going to get a fair deal. With you, they don't. You got yourself into an us versus them situation. You're your own worst enemy, Steve. You had a chance to make a name for yourself. I wasn't asking much. Just keep the place running, and I was as far away as the nearest phone. And what did you do? You loused it up.
Honest, I sometimes wonder who's in charge in this place, or so them.
We are. The idea is not to make it appear too obvious. When you've learned that, my son, you'll be ready for responsibility.
And until then?
You're still learning, aren't you?
Well, you're a different man than you were this time yesterday, Mr. Roberts.
Aye, I feel it, Doctor.
You just take things easily and we'll have you home in no time at all.
Oh, it'll not be long then before I'm home.
Let's just see how you go on over the next few days or so, shall we?
Thanks, Doctor.
He's going to be quite all right now, you know, Mrs. Roberts. If you want to go home, get some rest.
No, I'll stop here a bit longer. I'm past the tired stage.
Well, you just watch yourself. You really are going to be no use to anyone if you crack up.
I'll watch it.
You can go now if you want, you know.
Oh, no, I'd stop here a bit longer.
You already said I might be home in a few days.
Yeah, well, you could be, but we better make sure, you know.
Make sure about what?
Well, that, you know, you're fit enough. They don't want you back here, you know, you've been a proper handful.
Hey, I've been thinking.
What about?
Well, you know, what we were talking about me coming to work in the shop before I had my accident.
Oh, not now, love.
Yeah, well, I want you to know that I think you're right. I'll be better off at post office. It's what you want, isn't it?
We'll talk about it when you come home, eh?
Aye, all right. I just wanted you to know.
How did he seem to you?
Well, he's a bit quiet, but that's only to be expected, isn't it?
Reckon he'll be all right then?
Well, I was with him at about an hour ago, and he seems to be the old Alf Roberts that I've known for years.
Ah, I'm glad to hear it, Len.
Just a tomato juice, please.
I'll get that.
Oh, that's all right, Mr. Frank.
I know it is.
Thank you very much.
That's the least I can do for all you've done for Rini.
Oh, it's you that's losing out, you and Rita.
Don't worry about that.
Well, I must
It's nice to be able to do something for Rita, though, isn't it?
It's nice not having to get up early in the mornings to do the papers. I could get used to that.
Don't remind me of it. It's my turn tomorrow.
You?
Yeah, Rita reckons it was me that lent you away, so it's my turn at 5:30 tomorrow.
Sorry.
You're not, you know.
Where's your mate tonight, then?
She's gone out. Disappointed, are you?
Don't be daft.
You could have fooled me the way you were all over her at dinner time.
I wasn't all over her. I bought her a drink. Look, I can't just ignore the girl, can I?
You could try.
Who's jealous, then?
I am not jealous. I just don't want her making a fool of you, that's all. She only does it to get at me.
Well, how do you mean?
Well, it's every time she sees us together, she wants to tell us how easy it is for you to get me to chat her up. It's like a challenge with her every time she sees us.
Well, she must reckon there's something in it, then, or else she wouldn't bother trying, would she?
In what?
Well, you and me.
Oh? Is there?
Well, if you don't know now, I'm not going to tell you.
I do wish you'd have a word with our Brian Burt.
What for?
Carrying on like that in here.
Well, he's doing that wrong.
No, that she's not encouraging him to do, I'll grant you. Just look at her.
I am doing. Why? What's up with him?
Well, surely even you can see what she's up to.
You what? Look, it's him that's making all the running.
Ah, because that's what she wants him to think, isn't she? She's got wedding bells in her ears, that one. True as I'm standing at this bar.
Give over. They're just a young couple enjoying themselves, you know what I mean? He'll chuck her, don't you worry, like he's chucked all the others just as soon as the novelty wears off.
Well, if that's what you think, you can't see what's under your flipping nose.
She'll not rest until she's got her hooks in him good and proper, I'm telling you, Bert.
A new money-making scheme for Eddie Yates in tomorrow's classic Coronation Street, same time 6:30. Stay with us tonight on Granada Plus for a blind date next.